compliments my fly, and when it goes down, I know she gon' ride. I finally got somebody I can call mine.
Music licensing reimagined.
I got a girl that compliments my fly, and when it goes down, I know she gon' ride. I finally got somebody I can call mine. My one time for the one time.
Hello, what's up? What's up, everybody? What's going on? It's gonna be a good one today. It's gonna be good.
I'm Lady Di, and it's my husband James. If you haven't seen us before, definitely check us out. I normally am live with the Peef Let's Talk on Thursdays. That's where some of you guys have seen me. But I actually have my own channel where we talk about dating to marriage, right? Because that's the whole purpose of relationships. There is a transition. So we on this page, we help individuals with that process. And my husband James, we're a team, so we do it together. So this is what we do over here. But yeah.
And we got our matching shirts on, y'all. Y'all can't even see it. We even must look for that.
We got it. See. What is that? Struggle streaming?
I know, right?
Yeah. Tilt it down. That's all.
Nah. It's,
there we go.
Man.
Here we go.
Hey, we still figuring it out, man. But we got an interesting story today, man. It's you know what I mean? How many people in the chat has gotten revenge on somebody that cheated on them, right? So we have.
Why would you do that though? Revenge?
Yeah. Ooh, it's gonna be. Hey, some people like honestly, like sometimes we root on it to happen, but we don't want to do it. But we hopefully they get their revenge, right? You know, like you want them to do it, but you don't want to be the person to do it.
Nah.
Hey, that's not real though, man. I bet some people in the chat know what I'm talking about.
I mean, honestly, like, okay, revenge. I'm not. So some people have a revenge bone in them. Me personally, like, because all it's gonna do is create drama, and I ain't got time for it. Just saying. Because if I do that, then what happens? Something else is going to, pop off. So I gotta be ready to pop off back because you ain't about to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want. Long story short, I don't got time for it. So if you or whoever wants to do whatever, y'all can do that on your own time. Guess what I'm gonna be doing? I'm gonna be peaceful doing what I'm doing. Okay.
She said that until something happens now.
Right. But at the same time, no, I'm good. So that's me. Why? If you do not want drama, don't do nothing back. Like just let the world, let the Most High, whatever. Let that karma, however you want it, whatever works for you. Let that get their ass. That's how I look at it. Because they gonna get their part. Yeah. But we don't have to be the one to partake in the nonsense with them. I ain't stooping down to nobody's level. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, that's facts. That's actually how I agree. But I know some people, you know what I mean, you be wanting to get that revenge. But you know, if you do something, it's kind of like in like growing up in like a bad neighborhood, right? You when people retaliate because somebody got killed, when their homeboys got killed, they retaliate. Then now it's just on and on cycle, and until everybody's dead. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically like kind of like growing up in the terrible neighborhoods. They always different gangs going at each other, and they be going on at it for years.
Exactly,
and stuff,
it's gonna continue. So if you got time, go ahead, do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Some people do need to get that, whatever they did to you, they need to get it back. I am a firm believer of it. I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier. So you
said that?
Yeah, you don't be listening. But but we have two stories today, guys. So we have one. Before we get, I know y'all probably getting y'all popcorn ready right now, but before we get into the story, we have one video that was sent to us. They was like, "Hey, y'all need to look at this right now." So we're gonna be doing like what we call it, like trending video of the week.
Yeah, see.
So we're gonna have each before we get into the Reddit story, we're gonna have a trending video for the week, and then we're just gonna kind of react to it live on screen, just to kind of and then kind of look at y'all comments and kind of see what y'all want to say about it. So
digging in your eye.
Yeah, man. I got my eyelashes stuck.
Video etiquette. Okay, I need to put you in the class because I can't.
Hey, the people here is family. You know what I'm saying? So
it don't matter. It don't matter. Video etiquette, man.
No. All right.
All right. So before we get into that, I want to get into the polls that I created for today. You know how we do. So let me put that up. All right. So what I got. So did you ever get revenge from an ex that cheated on you? All right. So 91. This is on YouTube. 91% of you guys said no. Good. That's what's up.
Y'all lying. 90% of y'all are lying.
I mean, hey, it's anonymous. I cannot see who voted on here. I can see who voted on Instagram.
Don't tell them, like you tell them they ain't gonna want to vote no more.
Yes, they will. They're gonna see if I'm gonna talk about it. I ain't gonna say your name. Listen, it don't matter. All right, 9% says yes. So okay, for the ones that did say yes, okay. I mean, you know, see if I say comment, how did that go? See, it's gonna tell me who did it. But at the same time, I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know the details. So if you got,
ain't gonna be worse than this story we about to talk about today.
If you got the courage, please. If you voted yes that you got revenge on your ex, please comment the details in this chat or send it to my DMs at BookLadydy DTM. I will read it and I will not say your name if you don't want me to. If you send it to my DMs, I'm not going to say your name, but I do want to read a juicy story because we want to know. We want to know. Yeah. All right. So the next poll.
Did you get my phone?
Did I get your phone? Yeah. No, you have your phone.
Where is it?
It's in the office.
How do I got it in the office? All right, let's go, man. See?
All right. Would you forgive your man or woman for cheating if their excuse was being sex deprived?
Dang, y'all still said 75% said no. Damn, it's like you gonna take it away and then still not. Hey, you better not cheat. I'm not giving it to you, but your ass better not cheat.
You better do what you gotta do.
Exactly.
All right.
Angela is over there.
Angela. 17% of y'all guys said, maybe. So that's because it makes sense, don't it? I put the question because it was to make you think. All right, that means that you took sex away for your own reason, right? But then this person is suffering. So now what? They're supposed to suffer with you?
Yeah.
So that's a realistic question. 8% of you guys said yes. Now on Instagram, who voted on here? Is I am sex deprived a valid reason to cheat?
51 said no. Okay, 41% say yes. So Instagram, boy, I see why y'all be on there.
Nah. But look, so if you have the courage, go to my Instagram, BookLadydy DTM. I want you to tell me your story on when you did get revenge. How did that go? All right. And if you are the one that wants revenge, what is your plan? Right? What is your plan? What do you want to do? What is revenge to you? Because some people's revenge is, I'm gonna sleep with your sister.
Yep.
I'm gonna sleep with your brother. Like crazy. Y'all doing that?
That's crazy.
Okay. What is your plan? You're getting revenge. How? That's important.
Yep. Y'all see, I got my board ready. Y'all see, I got my board ready. I got my board ready for the notes.
This is real life. You know what I'm saying? This is just what happens in these streets. So it is what it is, but we want to know. So let's get into the chat. I appreciate you all from being here. What's up? Hey. So when you send a video, right, I'm going to definitely shout you out. I'm going to try to remember to do that. I know I've been a little off lately, but definitely thank you so much for sending this video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I have a video, our trending video of the week that was sent to me, and I would like to play it because it's so interesting. So thank you so much.
Peace to everybody in the chat.
Thank you.
Let's go.
All right. So
what's up, Truth and Purpose? What's up, brother? What's going
up?
On?
Good evening. The champ is here. Authentic man of God. Salute to Dame's Marriage Support, Familia, Lady Di, and little bro James.
What's up, brother? What's going on? What's going on?
My bad. Yep. Night-ish. Hey, what's up? How are you? Good evening.
I like that name. That's dope.
Yeah, I like that.
Coco Mouwa. What's going on? It's got that. That's that French, ain't it?
What's up, fam? Mandrell, what's up? How are you? King Strong, how you doing?
What's up, 100? Just Rules, what's going on, brother? Always a great supporter of the chat. Okay, a hometown girls and curls.
I see you again.
And she got the popcorn ready. Hey, yo, y'all gonna thank me after this live, yo. Y'all gonna be like, this is crazy. Yeah, I be finding some crazy. I try to find the most crazy story for you guys. So y'all gonna be like, man, this is crazy today.
I got super revenge on the ex.
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh, you too. I know you probably go ahead, type that paragraph.
Don't do that
I
on
want
here.
to hear it.
Nah, this gonna be.
Go ahead, send it to me in my.
Hey, don't
DM.
incriminate yourself, bro. No.
I don't have time to seek revenge. It's his loss.
Exactly.
It's his loss.
Big bad bull. What's going on?
How you doing? Revenge cheating means that you actually stayed with the ex, right? What fool would do that though? That's funny. Wow.
It never works.
Rocket the Wheaton. Hey, what's up? What's up? It never works.
Nice dog right there. Look.
But that's what you may think it never works, but somebody else might think it does work. So who knows?
Just let God handle it.
Yes,
Exactly. Dr. Eugene, what's all going on, brother? He said no.
All right, so we're gonna get into what's up.
CBN Tech Talk, what's going on
here. We're gonna get into it, you guys. Just wanted to show some love.
Lady S.
Hey, how are you? I've seen that name before. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate that. All right, so Rodney Dunn, what's up?
What's up, brother? What's going on?
You? All right, so Ramses, how are you doing? Peace, what's up? Now listen.
Oh, he in Okinawa. Rodney in Okinawa. Dang, that's what's up. What's going on, brother?
See,
hey, he might be military. That's what's up. What's going on, brother? Yeah, no, right?
Stay safe out there, you know. So let's get into this video. Are y'all ready for this?
This is the warm-up video, guys, and we got 2 Reddit stories after this. So just be on the this is the warm-up video. See what's going on in the streets right now.
All right, y'all ready? All right, let's go.
Me deciding to cook a home-cooked meal for my girl.
No, everything
She's
is right
upset.
about that. Yes, I'm upset because it's our second day.
So what?
I expected you to take me to the Capitol Grill.
And we will go to the Capitol Grill.
When?
On another day. We went out last.
Keep his word. I have more. Rich should take me out and do more for
I'm
you
keeping my word.
No,
You haven't even
your word.
You haven't
no,
even.
You're not.
You don't even know that yet.
No, listen. You see this?
I see it. It's amazing.
It looks amazing.
It looks amazing.
It looks black, brown, crusty, dusty.
It looks
musty.
like you just want something to complain about to me.
It's not that I want something to complain about, but I expect you to stick by your word.
I am sticking by my word.
This is our second day.
Exactly. So how do you know?
And we're not going.
How do you know that though?
Because I'm here. What do you mean? No. Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate the effort of you cooking,
right.
But I wanted to go out with you. I want to have
fun.
And
we will, but I wanted to cook for you. No, I want to show you that. I want to show you versatility. It's easy for me to take you out.
This is too. No.
Yes, it's easy for me to take you out.
Okay, it's easy for me.
It takes a lot more thought to cook for somebody, right? That's all I'm saying.
I do not want this. You hear me? I don't want this. I expected more from you, and that's that. Like, come on.
So you wait until I cook up this meal just for you to decide that you don't.
know you was
I told you we were coming to my house. What did you think?
That we're going to the Capitol to grill,
and we will go there eventually. But tonight you're at David's house eating my dinner.
So that means what? You do not keep your word, right?
I do keep my word.
You do not keep your word.
How do I? If I didn't keep my word, why? If I didn't keep my word, how did I cook for you?
If you don't have it, just say you don't have it.
I absolutely have it.
Actually, tell me and have me expect maybe. Okay, I don't have it. I'm gonna cook something cute for her. She might like it. No, but you had to come over here expecting we're going somewhere, and we're not actually going. I don't like that. I don't. I can have you do more for me than what you want to eat. No.
Well, guess what? Guess what? You're with me right now, okay?
I'm with you right now.
Yes, we're on a date right now.
Exactly.
They didn't make the cut, and I did.
I'm with you right now.
They must have not did something right. I didn't lie to you about anything.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You told me we was going to the Capitol Grill.
And we will go to the Capitol Grill, but I decided to cook for you this time.
I need you to stick by your word.
I do.
You're not.
I always stick by my word.
No, you're not. No, you are not.
You were just over here complaining. You haven't even had one bite of this food.
I don't want to have
You haven't even taken one bite out of it.
I expected to have.
Wow.
I expected more.
You shouldn't be expecting stuff so early on.
You shouldn't be lying to me so early.
I didn't lie.
You shouldn't be lying to me so early.
I didn't lie about anything.
I'm here for a reason, right?
This is the second day.
I'm here for a reason, right? Here for a reason, right?
Because you want to be here.
I expect to go to the Capitol to grill, okay? I want to go out. I want to stay in, okay? You should have told me that. You should communicate.
I communicated
like
with you.
Men too, like these guys
Exactly.
don't communicate. Y'all want to say that y'all have so much, y'all don't. I can really have pull up and take me where I need to go.
Well, why don't you go with them then?
Okay.
Why don't you go with them?
You're right.
Since they are so much better than me, then why don't you go with them?
Better. It's about them keeping the stack and you keeping the zero.
I kept it. This is my house. I own this house. Okay.
You own this house?
Yes, I own this house.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And I decided
to own the house. You can keep your word too.
I absolutely can.
So like you signed the lease, the mortgage. You can.
You are ungrateful. You are ungrateful.
I'm not ungrateful.
You're ungrateful.
You are a liar.
You are ungrateful. I didn't lie. I ain't lie about nothing. You're ungrateful.
You're false. You probably.
Forget it. Just you know what? Yeah, just forget it. Just give me my food back. Yeah, give me my food back. I will cook it for another woman. Then she'll be appreciative because you know what? You ain't the woman for me.
Right. I'm gonna have to think about
that. Yeah. You do that. You do that.
So
that was a lot.
I mean, that was
sheesh. I see
someone
why.
said it's fake.
Yeah, no, they said he said there's no way he said there's no way it should be real.
Yeah, like no, I get that, but like, why? Okay, so first of all, women all day complain, oh, the man is not cooking. I gotta cook and clean all the damn time. So if he's cooking, that's what you want, ladies, right? So why are you so ungrateful that he made this dinner? And then it didn't look bad to me. I don't know what she was talking about, but hey. That's not the point. Even if it was bad, it's the benefit of the doubt, right? And then it was a kind gesture. It's not about money because what he had on his plate could be expensive. He could have bought, something like that steak. Steaks are expensive. So either way, it doesn't matter about the money. It's the thought that counts. You have to be appreciative of people that are doing nice things for you. He did not have to set that up. All right. It looks pretty cool to me. Now, is it perfect for her? No, it doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah. Because anything you do for him might not be perfect. But if he complained about it, what would you do?
Yeah, we got to stop being so transactional with our dating and all that type of stuff because it seems like men just want the bodies, right? And then women just want the food. So we kind of gotta like men want the bodies and women want the food. Oh, we got to stop with the transactional how we look at each other, right? So these it seemed like she just want to go in a nice place and have the nice date and stuff like that. But if he's saying, "Hey, I'll cook for you," and I can tell if he was like cooking like chicken sandwich or something like that, then it's like, all right. But he went for the steak. He trying to go all out. And then I'm like this: like if you don't want that on the second day, I know some people probably say it's early, right? All right, why you over this man's house? If you comfortable to be at his house and be there by yourself, why is it wrong for him to cook you a meal? So you kind of gotta, take, you gotta give and take. And then also, I hate so he bought that house, right? Cool, but she making it seem like it ain't nothing. But now she be one of the main women that say, "Oh, black men ain't doing what they supposed to do," right? But now this man bought his own house. Now, it don't mean nothing now. You know what I mean? So you kind of gotta pick. Which one you want men to step up and do what they want to do, or you want them just be like the regular guys you've been dealing with.
Yeah, he could take you to a nice restaurant, but that's not going to change his character. So you want to see his character. Him doing that is very great. Like, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have to do that. So we just, no. Yeah,
she,
no, that's not hitting it.
And guys, man, honestly, I think that embarrassed the guy too. I don't understand. He doing it for research purposes. But it's it seemed like he's doing it for like a study. He's studying women how they doing it.
Let me test them. Let me see if I make. But see, testing her would have been a meal that didn't look that good.
No, I'm talking about with the recording. Like that's embarrassing. I wouldn't want to put that on the internet. Honestly,
no, he's trying to expose women like that because they out there.
But everybody knows gold diggers out there is women that got the long what they call it, the baby hairs, the long ass baby.
Oh, her baby hairs was like, why were they so thick?
Yeah,
damn,
long as hell too. Yeah, so man.
I mean, we saw the video where the lady was not appreciative of a Starbucks drink, a coffee date.
Yeah,
remember that?
She was aggressive. She from New York. So y'all be talking in New York.
Why you gotta put it? Why you gotta put that on there?
Hey man,
it's not about people from the South. What about them ladies?
Hey, we different ratchet.
Y'all worse. Thank you. You guys are worse.
Nah, I wouldn't say that worse.
Yes, it is. Y'all give no.
Yeah. Yo, man. So it's man. Honestly, guys, if you find yourself with a woman like that, just move on, man. I'm glad he said that, and I would say the women be appreciative if a guy is. I know some of y'all might say it's weird because the second day. All right, cool, but you have to. If somebody doing something for you, they don't have to do, just be appreciative, man or woman, right? We got to be willing to appreciate each other more because we've been kicking each other down too much. So anything, if a man is going out there and cook, right? Yeah, women want men to cook now and all that type of stuff, right? Honestly, just be thankful of it. You can be like, she could have said a different way. Hey, baby, I wish you would have. I would accept this meal now, but hey, on our next date, can we go here?
Don't say that. Oh well.
You know what I'm saying? On our next date, I love this. Yeah, don't be rude. Be like, hey, I love this idea that you cooked for me. Like, I really appreciate you did that. But on the next date, can we go out and kind of, you know what I mean, be more? And then, you know what I'm saying, that now the guy would be like, yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? I just want to show you, like you said, I'm versatile. I can do, I can cook. I'm trying to show you I can offer you something. Because the guy probably wasn't thinking how the woman is thinking about this. So if you would have said it that way, he would have been very much receptive to that. And he'd be like, yeah, I got you. Come on, let's go. He bought the house, so I know he got money. No. He got credit at least, goddamn. So he got a credit card.
She's just immature. So if you come across someone that's like that or shows signs of that, it just means that they're immature.
Yeah, man.
They want the world, but they're not giving you that. So, you know, you stay away from people who can't give to. That's all.
Speaking of the world, she had all the time in the world to you know what I mean, to go on dates. If they would have got married in the future, they could have been going on many dates. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta change it up, man.
But she wants to go on a date out. She want to go out on a date every time.
She was trying to get like a expensive meal so she can post it on Instagram. So yeah, man, we got to do better.
On Instagram, we got, let me see, the brother with soul. Tell James Major what's up, cracking.
What's up? What's going on?
Everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. What's up, twin? How are you? Yeah, hey everyone, Dark Lake. Yep. So, and Ball Fade, what's up?
Yeah, man. So we get some of the comments which y'all talking about. He said ungrateful pig. Yeah, he said drop that. She a brat, ungrateful.
Definitely a brat. Yeah. Ungrateful, yep.
Said, where is big bro Hink at in the basement? Where dude leave her at the bus stop? Yeah, Hink would have got a tow.
Oh god.
Would have get rid of her. Yep, don't be a simp. This is fake. Yeah, man. It could be. Yeah, okay, yeah, no way is yeah. Hopefully, man. Hopefully, it's a skit. And they was. That might be a good point, skit. Man.
But guess what? This stuff happens in real life. So let's talk about it.
Yo, man.
Kick her ass out.
Yeah. He said, okay, my bad. He says, Cap. I said, all right, Travel One. What's going on, Travel One?
Travel One.
She said, on the second date, it's too soon. Okay, to be at a man's house. Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier. So she was comfortable with that. It's crazy. She should not have accepted going to his home. Exactly. She went through, ladies. Stop going to strange men's house. Don't let them in yours either. Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, she already knew something was gonna be up if you are allowed yourself to go to his house.
Yep.
What you thought he was gonna do?
Exactly.
Lucky it was just that. It could have been, you know, in exchange. I took you out on a date last week. This week, you know, you're gonna give up them buns type of thing. Yep. He didn't even do all that. It went straight to the food. So
exactly. Good point, Travel One. It says I've been done with her immediately. Exactly. It said her vibes are a strong rebel. Yeah. I couldn't even type a comment until maybe 2 minutes after, when she always like, this is the question. If so, he's the future trouble. Yeah, he in future trouble. Exactly. Facts. I don't even date until she is mine. So
explain, because I always say, like, I don't believe that in today, like the way how we used to date. No, today you can't even do that, because you're gonna come across spoiled brats like this. I just believe just walking and talking. You know?
Man. Yeah.
Pick a nice place. You know, you at least do that. Pick a nice park, anything with scenery, and just walk and talk.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. Even when it's cold, you know, there's places that you go that are nice, that you don't have to spend money for food and all of these things, but you just want to meet somewhere and talk. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And then, like what Truth said, I like that. Then you date when you're like, yeah, this is the one. Then you spend your money. Don't spend your money on these girls, man, please.
Yeah, my mother-in-law was telling us, like, hey, you can go out, Central Park, you know what I'm saying? Go walk around, get a hot dog, you know what I mean? A couple $, you know what I mean? You don't got to spend a lot of money.
Do that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Get a little hot dog.
The hot dogs in New York ain't cheap like they used to be. Yeah. They trying to charge $5.
Yeah, it says, entitled little princess. Try one says, safety first, ladies. Second date, you have to vet. Stop it. Yep. Not saying to live in fear yet. You must think. None else is going to think for you. Exactly.
Yeah, I like
excellent point. Coco Mawaz says, clearly they having sex already. Why are you arguing on the second date? Ooh.
They was arguing pretty long. I was like, are y'all done yet?
Exactly. Hey,
that's a good point.
She might be on to something. It said because she he said, oh, them Philly women, dang, them Philly women. What's up? What the funk? What's going on, brother? He said, now, Southern Ratchet is sweet sometimes.
Up with the funk?
Exactly. So you could be.
But that's worse because you would get, come on, you already know where I'm going. That's worse.
I'm just saying,
they're going to hit you with that Southern Belle and you're going to be like, damn, I didn't see it coming.
Hey, appreciate that, brother. He said, talk to him. He said, Kokomo, I said, flip side, if I'm going up for the second date, what's wrong with a nice restaurant? Yeah. There's
nothing wrong with a nice restaurant.
But she could have addressed that better, honestly.
But what's wrong with him cooking a meal?
Yeah.
Both of them is okay.
And she could have been like, hey, I don't feel comfortable coming to your house right now.
She did feel very comfortable.
Yeah, she was already comfortable over there.
She was already sitting down anyway. So like you wasn't comfortable, your ass went sat.
He said, Coco, what is the most you spend on the second date with someone? Oh, he was just asking her a question.
Please answer that too. We want to know.
It said, if somebody told, if it was told to men not to spoil women in their first days of dating, with expensive outings. If Hink was here, he unapologetically say
Hink
is more rugged than raw.
Where you at, yo? You gotta explain that. That video I talked about was about you and that girl.
They said, nah, why he lied on her though? That wasn't right. Say love y'all.
Hey, what's up, Matthew?
Appreciate that. Appreciate that,
you
brother.
for being here. Thank you.
It says in other news, Simone Biles got married to John. Oh, snap. Okay. I didn't even know she was dating you. I don't be following people. My bad. Scam likely. What's up? He said most of these dating rules are a way. All right. He said if she likes food, the second date. Her straight Trader Joe's, yeah, man. So, all right, y'all, we're gonna kind of get into the some of these this actual story while y'all are here. Sorry for the long intro, but we about to get into it.
Wasn't that long? Come on,
man, that was good. So, all right, y'all ready?
All right, so we get into the story. Y'all better get y'all popcorn up. And I didn't hear this. So this once again, I didn't hear the story, so I don't know anything about it.
I found all the stories, y'all. Y'all gonna like this. You know what I mean?
So is it better than the last one?
Yeah, it's gonna be better.
All right. So let's get into it. All right. So
every week it's gonna be better.
Okay, we try to do better. We try to do better with the audio because the audio last time it wasn't bad, but I didn't like the voice like that.
Some of y'all say it's like Avid and the Chipmunk. So
all right, who
said
that
voice off. We took that voice off. I
think Big said that. All right, listen, here we go.
To reveal and admit a few things about myself I'd rather not, and am not proud of. If you hate or struggle with reading, then don't even continue. My story is unfortunately true, and I would not wish my life upon anyone. No.
Okay, listen, that voice is better than last week. Please let me know if it's too loud. I just turned it down. But here we go. Be into it.
Not even those I chose to seek out revenge upon. When I was 18, my father suffered a debilitating stroke and could never work or drive again. I volunteered to look after him as my mother had a full-time job. My family needed her to keep working. Sadly, exactly 1 year to the day of his stroke, he passed away after enduring a triple bypass. I lost my shit, as we used to say back in the day, and it changed something inside of me. I had lived a somewhat sheltered life due to regularly attending church and church activities. When my father passed, if I wanted to go to college, I would have to pay for it out of pocket. I did not qualify for any loans, thankfully, in retrospect. I got a menial job and began partying at age 19, having never tasted alcohol, done drugs, had sex, etc. I had been bullied quite a bit growing up. I developed very late and always looked several years younger than my friends. At a party one night, I met a guy several years older than me, we'll call Benji. He asked me to come by after my shift at my shitty minimum wage job the next day, and I agreed. When I arrived, he brought me into his house, where two of his friends were busy sorting through a table of white powder. I'd seen drugs in movies, so I rightfully assumed it was cocaine.
All right, James, break this beginning down. Let's get us started, please. Go ahead.
All right, so at the beginning, what I have right now, so he's been going through a couple of traumas going on right now with him. So I guess it's going to set him up to why he did what he did. So his father died from a stroke. So that's, him as a young man didn't get the full development. He was bullied as a child because he looked younger. And then now he's about to start hanging around the wrong crowd. So once you kind of put a lot of those things together, now you're going to be like, all right, you know what I mean? This person, the morals is not going to be there as much as a normal person without all this trauma. So you got to understand what person you pick with and person you deal with, kind of get like a little backstory so you can be able to help them or be like, hey, I can't help you. I got to get out of this situation, you know, so.
Yep.
They offered a line and laughed at my refusal to try it. The reason Benji had singled me out was the fact that even at age 19, I looked like I should have been a freshman or a sophomore in high school. The dealer and his guys had kids selling cocaine at all the local high schools. The area I am from had a lot of old wealth and trust fund kids. They wanted me to go to each high school campus each day and pick up cash while dropping off pre-weighed bags of coke. They would buy packs of cigarettes and put coke in each with a small initial on the bottom indicating which school. They'd gotten their hands on a cellophane wrapping machine that would seal and shrink the plastic. Everything worked well as planned for years. It was amazing to learn how many cops, lawyers, and even judges were on the take. I did things in those younger days that could have gotten me very long prison sentences, or worse had I been caught. I quit my stupid job and worked daily for Benji. If I wasn't delivering or weighing cocaine, Benji and his buddies were teaching me how to shoot guns, work out, or fight. They'd built a full-size boxing ring out back because they truly loved to spar. They'd sensed I'd been picked on a lot growing up. Even though I'd grown another 3 inches in height after high school to stand 6'2", I was still wiry and not very strong. Benji was several years older than me and had been stationed in South Korea for many years. There, he took it upon himself to learn a form of martial arts known as subak, but he'd also been a boxer as well. The 3 guys loved teaching me how to handle myself. They'd teach me to master one move, then delighted in springing a new never-before-seen move on me. None of this was ever meant to attack anyone, strictly self-defense. They wanted to be sure I could protect myself should anything bad go down and wanted me to be able to have their backs. Benji made me carry a loaded 9mm everywhere we drove. He carried a huge .357 Magnum revolver. Eventually, I was several years into college and had begun to sell to classmates. My mom was proud I was paying for my own tuition and books, never asking how. Yes, there are some people, albeit very few, that use money earned from unsavory deeds to better themselves, just as there are a few strippers who use that money to get a degree. It is rare, but it does happen. What my mom never knew was the fact that I was making more in a week selling drugs than she did as a teacher in a month. I drove an old Camry. I never bought flashy clothes or threw money around to impress anyone. I kept as low a profile as I could. I finished my BA degree in 3 years due to having plenty of free time. I initially wanted to be a lawyer, but I had known far too many corrupt cops and judges. I did study law with no goal of ever passing the bar because I wanted to become, and eventually became, a jury consultant. For those who don't know what that is, when a law firm has a client they're defending, a list of potential jurors is sent out. Television makes it look like lawyers decide for or against a potential juror on the spot in court. A good lawyer already has a very good idea of each potential juror's background before they enter the room. My job was to take each name and research any background I could find. The firm I worked for decided what was pertinent information for each particular case.
Okay, so
what's going on, right? So we basically kind of still breaking down, so him selling drugs, kind of getting into what created him as a monster. And y'all notice that they said the judge and the police people was into it as well. I know we normally see that in movies, whatever, but hey, I guess it's real life. So, you know what I mean? The hood helped him out with his confidence, the people he's hanging around, and he was paying for college, just like a lot of women that probably script or something like that, they would do that as well to kind of make themselves. I wouldn't say, don't do that, guys, if you are, because there's many ways you can make money, the legal way, and then you still be good.
Especially now.
Yeah. And then he was end up making more money than his mom, right? So that's kind of what's going on right now. We just, you know what I mean? So let's get back into it.
The firm I work for has the highest regard in my area. I can research a lot of information about people legally through something as simple as an online background data site. In the much more recent past, I reacquainted with a high school classmate we'll call Shayna. I discovered she and I had both had crushes on each other back in the day, but we'd both been too shy to say a word to each other. Without a lot of pointless details, suffice it to say, Shayna and I became best friends, fell head over heels in love, and were planning a future together. Both of our previous relationships had been disasters. Mine in particular had left me feeling totally dead inside, believing I was incapable of love. It had been years since I had dated by choice. My previous ex, we'll call Allison, had done things cold and utterly heartless to cause our breakup. I was nothing but good to her, rescuing her from an abusive relationship, never abused her, and let her know no human deserves to be abused. When she stabbed me in the back and left me, my life was in total ruin. Finding Shayna didn't just give me hope, it made me realize that every relationship before her had been pointless. Shayna was the love of my lifetime. We were meant to be together and finally were. Sadly, 5 years ago, I awoke to discover Shayna was not beside me. I thought nothing of it until I went into the laundry room to find her face down on the floor. When I picked her up, even before I turned her over, I knew something was wrong. Her body was completely stiff. When I did turn her over, I realized she was dead. Rigor mortis had already set in, and her face was frozen in the most painful expression of agony you could imagine. I called 911, even knowing she was already dead and long past saving. I really don't want to go into detail about that night. Suffice it to say, the cops suspected I'd done something or she'd OD'd. For 5 hours, detectives went through everything we owned. I was questioned repeatedly the same questions by multiple cops. All the while, I was trying to console her mother with the realization her one and only daughter was dead. The next day, I accompanied Shayna's mother to Shayna's neurologist. Shayna had epilepsy, and her doctor suspected she might have died from SUDEP, sudden unexpected death due to epilepsy, which neither of us have ever heard of. Months later, when the autopsy came back, that was the cause of death. The next few days were a blur of misery, tears, and disbelief. Devastated does not begin to express how I felt from that point for many, many months. I will not lie, there were many moments I thought of and even planned to take my own life. I knew Shayna would want me to live, and after seeing how the loss of a child had affected her mother, I could not do that to my own mom. I managed to face the future only by focusing on my mother, who was getting up in years at the time. I closed myself off to all friends and extended family. It was hard enough just having the fortitude to hold down my job and look after my mom. I worked out every day and did cycling for cardio. I took some Krav Maga classes to relieve stress, but I didn't even think of dating, and frankly, the idea seemed pointless. Shayna was a truly, truly special person with a beautiful soul. I knew I could never have that kind of relationship with anyone ever again. Eventually, 2 years passed.
Damn.
Yeah. All right. So now he has a taste of a good woman, right? So a lot of times, especially with men, when we have a taste of a great woman, that changes you as a man, because now you're gonna have a certain standard for how a woman's supposed to act. Especially if he had nothing but bad women, then it would have been like a, you know what I mean? Like, all right, cool. I guess this is how women are. But now he has a good taste, but sadly to say that she died from epilepsy and, you know what I mean, what was going on, right? So now he had his father die on him. He had with stroke, with being sick. Now he had his girl, now he's still, you know what I mean, providing for his him and his himself, whatever, paying with college and everything with drug money. So he's still in that unconfident type of world a little bit, honestly, because you know what I mean, he just got kind of getting by, right? So yeah, it's crazy. So
that's terrible. So yep. All right, let's get back into it, y'all.
And I met a female we will call Angie. We initially started hanging out as friends, again, as that is what I needed most at the time. But as I opened up about what had happened with Allison and then Shayna, we got closer and Angie seemed to sympathize. We started sleeping together again and eventually became a couple. I was still having to keep some focus on my mother, though I enjoyed my time with Angie. She seemed to appreciate that I actually listened, spoke honestly, and was protective of her. She said she loved me, and I admitted I loved her. I never told her a word about how I'd paid for college or the things I'd seen or done. Shayna knew and loved me in spite of it all. Well, I knew it would never be what Shayna and I had. I never told or even hinted at that to Angie. Things went along well for the most part. My mother's need for assistance was fairly limited. Angie knew what I'd endured losing Shayna, and she seemed to understand the responsibility I had looking after my mom. Angie and I had been in a committed, monogamous relationship for well over a year when my mother had to have some medical tests done. My mom had a leaking heart valve, and the tests were to determine if they could repair the valve. A week later, we received good news. The valve could indeed be replaced. However, we also received devastating news. While running the tests, they discovered 4 small masses in and around her right kidney. The odds were high that the masses were tumors and malignant. The doctors did a biopsy to discover she did in fact have renal kidney cancer. She began chemotherapy, and I knew my focus needed to be on my mom. Things had been going great with Angie. We were planning to move in together. She lived in a town about 30 miles from mine. When I told Angie about my mom, she seemed deeply concerned and supportive. When I explained it meant we would see less of each other, she assured me that she had no desire to put things between us on hold. She said she wanted to be there for me, if in no other way than as emotional support. I told Angie, in fact, I urged Angie, that if she decided she wanted to take a break or thought she might be interested in anyone she met, to just tell me, and I would understand. She assured me that she cherished me in her life and that nobody could ever take my place in her life. Initially, the chemotherapy seemed to be having none of the horrible side.
All right, so he told her, like, hey, he already gave her a warning, like, hey, I'm gonna be gone for a while. You know what I'm saying? So I understand if somebody else come in the picture, I understand. You don't have to stay here with me. So he kind of giving her out right now because he knows he's not gonna be able to give her time. And honestly, I think that's best to do that, guys. And people like if somebody, a woman or a man, hey, they're telling you, hey, I'm not gonna be able to give you the time. Hey, respect that, you know what I mean, and leave if you think you're gonna need that time. But hey, if you can wait, you know what I mean? All right, cool, you can wait. But if somebody giving you out, hey, please accept that out, because when people do that, they doing that because they don't want to screw you over. And then if you screw them over, they're gonna get your ass. Like that's being
it's not
real.
even them screwing you over, it's you screwing them over because you're not spending that much time with me. So let me go find something else to do, and something else that you want to do is going to destroy the relationship. So you got to be smart about the type of person you're trying to date. Can you handle it?
Yeah.
If you cannot handle it, then don't.
Yeah.
You're not forced to do anything.
Yeah. So his mom is sick now, so it's crazy. So let's get it.
Effects. It was well into her second month before she started noticing weakness and a loss of appetite. I talked to and texted Angie multiple times per day, every day. She would message me asking how my mom was doing as soon as she woke up each morning, and we often spent hours before falling asleep talking and telling each other how much they were missed. We got to see and spend the night together about every 2 weeks, but everything seemed fine when we did. My mom's condition began to worsen, so I told Angie that she could go out with friends and have some enjoyment in life. As summer began, I knew Angie would enjoy going to outdoor activities even without me. My mom's failing health that summer meant no fun in the sun for me.
Honestly, I mean, if he's taking care of his mom, why would you leave somebody like that anyway? I'm just saying. Now, I understand, okay, you're not spending time, but it's for a good cause. So you still have to be mature. So if you're immature and you're like, well, there's no time, then you're going to miss out on somebody good, because if he's taking care of his mother like that, that means he can take care of everything, a lot of other things. Your kids, whenever you have them, you got to look at characteristics. Let's not look at them now. Let's look at, okay, wow, these type of traits could help in the future too. So hold on, y'all. All right.
And susceptible to many ailments. For 3 weeks, she was hospitalized. They gave her many medications via an IV, but her condition worsened each day. The doctors finally informed me she had at most a week to live. I knew she would not want to leave this earth in that hospital room. So the staff made arrangements for hospice to bring her home and help me make her last few days as peaceful as possible. When everything had been set up, we brought my mom home. Though extremely weak, she was glad to see her house and familiar settings once again. We both knew she didn't have much longer to live. While she was a bit afraid, she also told me she was ready to go and see my father once again after so long. I got one of my cousins to look after my mom for a few hours, got in my car, and drove to see Angie without calling. I hadn't called because I was crying so hard, facing my mom's impending demise. I wouldn't have been able to talk. When I arrived at Angie's house, I saw a black Mustang parked in her driveway behind her car. I actually didn't think anything of it, as I was focused on soon losing my mother. I used the key she had given me to enter into the kitchen, as we always did.
And that's the thing, like, why do something when someone is down? Because you know they're not going to pay attention. This man just said he's seen a car and didn't think nothing of it. Like, come on, that's not even reality. So you gotta, that's what I'm saying. You cannot treat people like that.
Yeah.
As soon as the door opened, I heard loud music playing, but still didn't really suspect anything. I saw no one in the living room or on the back deck. I walked down the hallway toward her bedroom and heard noises coming from inside. As I reached for the door handle, I stopped. I realized the sounds I heard were sexual in nature. My heart sank even further as I pulled back my hand, not wanting to draw attention. Her bathroom was connected to a guest room with an adjoining bathroom. I quietly walked around and into the unlit bathroom to find her bedroom door open. I stopped in my tracks as I saw them both, completely naked, going at it, oblivious to my presence. Honestly, my first instinct was run full speed and introduce his face to the back of his skull with my knee, but I knew I had to stay out of trouble for the sake of my mother and my job. So, I slowly backed away, shaking with anger. I went back through the guest room, out of the house, and to my car. I hadn't been seen. I just sat there in the car, bawling my eyes out. After about a half an hour, I cranked my car and headed back to my mom's.
This guy said he was bawling his eyes out.
Yeah.
Would you cry?
He was on the way. He was on the way there. I think it was more because his mom, and then he finding out that his mom is dying. He only got like a week left. And then he going to kind of, emotional about that. Now he's going to tell his girl you know what I mean, hopefully she holds him and console him and stuff. So he's in a vulnerable space right now. So I don't know what I would do in that situation because but I know I'll be I know I would have been. He did a better job than me, man. So honestly, like, because you know what I mean, I probably would have went crazy type. Because
that's what he said.
Yeah,
he would
man.
Rather do that. So. Yeah.
But I would say if y'all in position like this, you know, get some video evidence of it at least. So because a lot of times they be like, oh no, you lying, I wasn't doing this, I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
And then you have the video evidence of it, you know, you good, you straight. But
yeah.
I told no one what I'd just seen. Everyone assumed my tears were totally in regard to my mom. They, of course, partially were. But the betrayal I'd just seen witnessed was like something so sadistic, I struggled to grasp it. My logic knew my mom was my top priority, especially so close to the end. Yet I felt so deceived by Angie. I felt a rage like I'd never known before, and I'd felt plenty of rage. I thought of calling Angie, letting her know what I'd seen, and cursing her out, but I knew if she didn't care enough to be faithful to me while my mother was on her deathbed, a stream of profanity wouldn't bother her. I made sure my mother was comfortable and went to try and sleep in my old childhood room. I cried, I slept, I woke up crying, and cried some more throughout the night. I woke to my cell phone ringing and saw it was Angie calling. I ignored the call and the urge to slam the phone against the wall. I went in to check on my mom, who was in a deep sleep due to the morphine sulfate they had her on. I managed to text Angie I was very busy with my mom and would call her later. After forcing myself to eat food I didn't want and taking a shower, the hospice nurses came by to check on my mom. After checking her vital signs, they regretfully informed me that my mother would die within 48 hours. I thanked them and walked out into the backyard, trying not to totally lose my mind with all that had happened and was about to happen. I managed to text Angie and told her my mother's condition was about the same. I didn't want to see her, I didn't want to talk to her, and I didn't want her showing up. I owed it to my mom to do everything I could to make sure her last moments were as peaceful as I could. The next afternoon, just before 4 p.m., my mother took her last breath, with me by her side, holding her hand as her life expired. The next 3 days, I was in a total daze, meeting with her pastor and making final touches on the church and burial service. But I could not, for the life of me, get the images of Angie and Will fornicating right in front of me out of my mind. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I was mad at Angie, furious, but remembering how Will had been so overly friendly toward me made my blood boil even more. If they hadn't already been intimate when I first met him, they were soon about to. That made me want to know just exactly who the son of a bitch really was. I opened the site I used for background checks. I hadn't checked him out before because I wanted to trust Angie and her decision making. I'd sensed from the moment I met him, he was bad news. I was actually angry at myself for ignoring my gut instincts. I knew nothing but his first and last name. It was a distinct name I had difficulty spelling correctly. When I finally got it right, a link popped up which I opened to see an old mugshot of Will's from many years before. I was once arrested and have done some despicable things in my life. I've known people who have done horrible things intentionally and under the influence of various substances. But Will had a long rap sheet for a variety of crimes. Several DWIs, receiving stolen goods, breaking and entering, drug arrests were listed. As I scrolled down through his record, the arrests got...
Yo, so this is already going downhill. So she cheated on him, even though both of them in the same category, honestly. But this guy got multiple DUIs. This guy got all type of different arrests and all that type. So he's way gone compared to this guy, right? Because he probably got he said got a little petty stuff, whatever, right? So this is yeah, exactly. But he's able to run a background check on somebody, so we already know he's in a better situation. And the other guy drive a Mustang. Anybody that drive a Mustang is a drug dealer. Play the video.
Oh my
God.
More heinous. I discovered Will had been out of prison on early probation approximately 2 years after serving 9 years. When I saw the charges included sexual exploitation of a minor and a host of other sexual offenses, I admit I was disgusted. Angie had betrayed me, which hurt enough. The knowledge she may have risked me to God only knew what diseases that felon had gotten as a sex fiend and then eventually in prison made me feel physically ill. I doubted Angie had any idea who she was involved with behind my back. She had a naive, trusting nature that had given her issues before, but never like that. I had no doubt anyone who knew of Will's record would have considered him a vile creature. He should never have been let out of prison. But I had my mom's funeral to focus on, and had to pull myself together. By the time her funeral was over and everyone had left, I was exhausted and mentally spent. As I put my head on the pillow to try and sleep, Angie called, not knowing my mom had passed, or that I knew what she had been up to. She'd been texting and calling much less in the days before my discovery and after. I answered the phone and tried my best to sound as glad to hear from her as I could. I didn't let on anything had changed with my mom's status, nor that I knew about her and Will, or what I knew about Will. I let her.
So he never told her that she knew. I mean, that he knew that she was cheating.
No, he never told her. So he kind of kept that on the low and just kind of kept going because he was dealing with his mom's situation. Yeah. So he didn't want to conflate the two because he's dealing with a funeral. He's doing all type. But one thing I wrote down, he served 9 years in jail for having, relations with a minor.
The one that she's dating.
Yeah. So you got to be careful, especially if people have a record, man. You got to, if somebody has a record, you got to see what's going on with them because you don't know who you're dealing with. Say if that girl had a kid, that could have been, your child that he messing with. Now he got a couple more years that he got to go to jail. So
yeah, so are you saying that we got to get background checks on people that we date?
No, you just got to ask them, hey, have you been to jail?
They're not gonna.
Have you been to jail? But this later on in a relationship, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this before you give up the draws.
No,
how about that?
No, this is during the first date, not when you give up draws.
I wouldn't. Yes. No, I wouldn't ask that the first. Imagine me coming.
Because you don't want to waste your time.
No, imagine me sitting down. Oh, have you been convicted?
No, listen. I'm gonna tell y'all how to do it. You got to ease your way into it. So you could pull up many different, let's say if y'all was watching something on your phone, everything is about the phone now. What videos is popping off, what's trending. Play a violent one. Say, how would you handle this situation? He gonna sit here and be like, oh, well, actually this happened to me. Or he'll say, I know a person, a buddy of mine that did it, and they'll give you a reason and on all of these different, So
that's how you do it, ladies.
That's how you do it. You let them tell you without knowing that they're telling you.
I got a better one. Be like, hey, I hate these pigs, man. They be tripping, and then the guy be like, yeah, me too, man. I remember one time they locked me up. And
Exactly. That's how you find out. You don't just directly ask somebody. Nobody's gonna tell you.
They gonna be like, yes, I had 800 credit score. They gonna tell you all the lies in the world. Hey, what's up going on, Bella? What's going on?
How are you?
She said, I got a wrench. Hey. Of course. All right, let's get it.
Her do most of the talking and internalized every word I knew to be a lie, as if I totally believed her and appreciated her false sympathy. When she claimed she missed me as we said goodbye, I lied and told her the same. But in all honesty, at that moment, if she dropped dead, I would not have cared in the least. I had a few weeks off from work with bereavement. I knew things with Angie were over and done with. Part of me couldn't help but struggle with how cruelly she had treated me, intentionally or not. I was glad to know the truth about her and Will before any further lies and betrayal could occur. But I felt what both of them had done to me at a time when I was struggling to keep it together was just flat out wrong. I wanted revenge. I wanted to destroy both of their lives and yet never let either know.
Hey,
what is he gonna do for this?
Hey, revenge? Let's go. Y'all gotta tune in. Let's get it. Cause he talked too much, man. I wish I would have got a long video like this, but hey, this about to start getting.
Just skip out the beginning part.
Yeah, I know, right?
I had any part of it. I called my Human Resources Department and filled out the necessary FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act paperwork to stay out longer than my given 2 weeks. I truly had no reason to worry about getting fired, but I took the legal route and had enough of a nest egg to pay my bills for half a year or more if I needed to. Revenge on Will was quite easy, as he was on parole and a felon. Even a minor charge would get him sent back to prison to finish his original sentence. But I didn't want him to just have to finish out his original sentence. I wanted new charges that would bring him so much time behind bars he never saw freedom again. I'd met his parole officer on many occasions, and she knew me well enough that if I had called, she would have investigated Will. Felons have difficult times gaining employment. If he had a job, I had my doubts he was gainfully employed to be able to afford a new Mustang and insurance. I parked down the street from Angie's in a car she would not be familiar with. I saw Will's car in her driveway. I had 2 iPhones on my account, one for work and the other for personal use. I walked down to his car and stealthily duct taped my work phone securely to the underside of his back bumper. Back to my car and used the Find My Phone app to locate my work phone where I knew it to be. Around 2 a.m.
I hope y'all taking notes because the ones that want revenge, this is what you could do.
When I heard him rev his engine before pulling off from her driveway, I casually followed him, not wanting him to suspect he was being followed. I was about a quarter mile away from the phone signal when I noticed my phone had stopped moving. I followed the signal to a cruddy-looking house in a below-average part of Angie's town. His car was parked, and he'd already gone inside. I wrote down the license plate number and parked down the street. I slept several hours in view of his house after seeing no activity. When the sun rose, I went and bought some breakfast to eat and returned. Over the course of the day, it was easy to tell either Will had a lot of friends who saw no reason to stay and talk very long, or he was dealing. He was most likely dealing a highly addictive substance like cocaine, heroin, or meth. After a few hours, many customers returned for more of the narcotics obvious he was selling. I took photos of each car that stopped by, along with some video. I went back each day about the same time to document the continuing activity. I also observed each night, about 6 p.m., when I knew Angie was getting off work, he would leave. I trailed him each night to see him meet Angie at a restaurant or went straight to her house. I had major doubts she'd ever been to his house.
So he's straight up investigating.
Yeah, this man got,
who got this much time?
Endurance, boy. He buying breakfast and coming back, all that type of stuff. So he's trying to make sure that he trying to figure what's going on with this. So
just hire somebody next time. Like go do something else. Be like, yo, let me know in a couple weeks. Give me the results so you could like not be stressing about what the hell she doing, what he doing, and you could just hire the revenge partner. That's all you gotta do.
So you gonna do this on?
No, it'll be worse.
At least not that house. I had enough evidence to turn into the local police, but I decided to document his activities one more day, as I knew he hadn't been out to get more drugs to sell. That last day, I staked out his house around 3 p.m. People stopped coming by, which was unusual. I sat and observed when about 30 minutes later, a large black Cadillac Escalade pulled into his driveway. I had usually seen no more than one person get out of a vehicle to go into Will's house. This time, I observed 3 large males exit the vehicle and open the back door to escort a middle-aged man inside. They stayed in Will's house for over 2 hours, which absolutely nobody had been doing. I was fairly certain the middle-aged man was his source for the drugs he was selling. I drove by, taking a picture of the Escalade license tag. At home, I downloaded the photos and video I'd taken of Will's activity to my computer. I made a detailed report citing activity from the 4 days I'd observed what was going on.
He's acting
you like this. You get into this story now.
He's acting like the guy from Taken, like doing all this extra work. Because you got to, in order to get somebody, you have to like really like research and do all like it takes a lot of time. The fact that he got time, that means he cared too much about this girl.
Nah, he took family leave because his mom was dying, so they allowed him to do it. Hey, he got the time. He got time today.
Man, don't waste your time.
When finished, I printed out 30 pages of photos of people heading for Will's door to buy drugs. I saved all video of activity I'd recorded to a SIM card and placed it in a small plastic box for safekeeping. I knew it wouldn't take much to convince the police of what Will was up to. I was giving the cops actual admissible evidence with times and dates stamped on each photo and video. But I wanted to put so much heat on him that the police would be the least of his worries. The next morning, I went by the town's police station in Angie's town. I calmly walked in, requesting to speak with someone in their narcotics division. A uniformed officer came out from the office section, shook his hand, and I handed him one of my business cards. He stared at the card for several seconds, as 2 of the lawyers in the firm I worked for regularly worked in Angie's town. The cop knew the business card carried quite a bit of clout, even if I never passed the bar exam. I told him I had some information he might want to take a look at. The detective happily led me back to a conference room where we made small talk about mutual acquaintances. But soon, I pushed a folder of paperwork and the box with the SIM card across the table toward him. Listed on the first pages was Will's first name, date of birth, his criminal record, and parole officer. The detective examined the photos, and I sat quietly as he did. By the expressions on his face, he obviously realized he'd been given information.
This man had his date of birth. He had everything. This is crazy.
That could easily lead to an arrest warrant for Will. He must have also imagined how much narcotics those arrests could get off the street, potential promotions, and other positives. He thanked me for the evidence and placed the folder back down on the table. He asked me if I would be willing to testify. I explained the damning evidence was so I wouldn't have to. He smiled and casually asked if there was anything I needed. I explained that I felt Will had been allowed off prison far too soon. It was obvious he had not been rehabilitated and deserved to go back to jail for much longer. The detective agreed, but again asked what I wanted in exchange for the information. I pulled out a photo of the black Escalade with license plate number and pushed it toward him. I asked him to write the tag number down for his own benefit. I explained the owner of the Escalade might be an even bigger drug dealer. I reaffirmed I wanted my name kept out of any police or court reports. He agreed. I then lied and said my firm was representing someone who may have been set up by the owner of the Escalade. He knew I could have gotten one of the lawyers in my firm to call in a favor for the info, but he also knew lawyers like to use their favor sparingly. He thought quietly for a few seconds, realizing I'd given him yet another lead to potentially follow. I'd done more detective work in 5 days than his entire staff had done in months, so he happily agreed. 10 minutes later, he returned with a printout of the tag with the name and address of who it was registered to. I folded the printout and put it into my pocket. The detective and I made some more small talk about sports and cars before I shook the detective's hand and headed out to my car. I drove home, knowing a judge would soon be filling out an arrest warrant for Will. I kept to myself for a few days, monitoring the arrest reports from Angie's local paper online. One morning, the front site showed a photo of a very bewildered Will being led away in handcuffs. As long as nobody had made any stupid errors to get him off on a technicality, he'd be finishing out his original time, plus many additional years. There was always the possibility he might get a good lawyer to get the charges reduced, or find some loophole to get him off scot-free. I couldn't and wouldn't let that happen. I drove to the location the cop had given me. Sure enough, there was the large luxury vehicle sitting in the driveway of a modest house. Down the street, I waited about an hour until I saw what I believed to be one of his bodyguards leave in a different car. I followed and watched the guy go inside a mini-mart. I parked around the other side so my vehicle was hidden. I got out of my car, lit up a smoke, and waited for the guy to come out. My sunglasses obscured my face quite a bit. When he exited the store, I called him over, telling him I needed to tell him something. I'm sure he thought I was going to ask for gas money or tell him he needed to find Jesus when I told him I had some information his boss, whom I will call Marcus, might want to know. He was shocked. He asked who I was. I told the guy none of that was important, but I was certain with the information I could give him, Marcus would greatly appreciate. He began looking.
Ooh. So he talking to the bodyguard of the Connect. Basically, so this is gonna be interesting. I wonder what he's gonna kind of go, what he's gonna tell him the kind of what he want to do. So he already got Will, the guy that cheated with his girl, arrested already for breaking his probation, for basically snitching on him. So now he's going to the Connect because I thought it was just gonna be arrested and he was gonna be good. Now it's gonna be some extra stuff that he about to do. So let's go. That's crazy.
Looking around nervously, thinking it might be a bust, but I told him to relax. I told him to tell Marcus that Will had gotten busted, which he knew to be true, and had every intention of cutting a plea bargain. I suggested that Marcus get one of his boys in county jail to have a talk with Will, but I also explained they all needed to lay low until the heat had died down. Of course, I had no idea if any plea bargain was on the table, but a stranger volunteering such information out of the blue sure as hell wasn't going to look good to his boss. I knew how things worked well enough to know if Will made it to prison, the average dealer had enough connections inside to leave Will eating out of a feeding tube for the rest of his days, or worse. As I walked,
so he trying to get Will killed. Oh man,
that's more than revenge. Like, did you die?
God.
Look.
Hey, I guess he said he felt like it. Damn. Yeah, just Rule said, "Whoa, yeah, he's taking it to the next level."
Walked away, the guy asked my name and obviously wanted to get a gun from his car. I simply explained that Will had some payback coming from a previous betrayal and that Marcus had picked the wrong guy to sell his product. That wasn't a lie. He betrayed me. Neither Will nor Angie had any inkling of my past or how vengeful I could be, but it was enough to get the bodyguard to take my advice seriously. He quickly walked to his car as I hurried around the building. I slipped into a grocery store and watched Marcus's bodyguard drive around the parking lot several times looking diligently. When I saw him pull out of the lot and speed down the road, I calmly exited the store, got into my car, and drove toward home. I hadn't been driving 10 minutes when my phone rang. The caller ID let me know it was Angie calling. When I answered, I tried to act surprised and happy to see her. Without even a friendly greeting, she asked how I couldn't have let her know my mother had passed away.
See,
now she want to call.
He different because he hiding it, right? And he's doing all this stuff in the back, and then she calls and he's still not saying nothing or showing any sign.
Yo,
that's more like something's wrong with the guy.
But you see how when the guy got arrested, now she want to call, and now she's seen it in the paper that the mom passed. But when she was doing her thing, she was just gone. You know what I mean? She was out.
But the fact that he could hide it so good, it's like, damn. Yeah, like, I know he's really hurt, but whew.
But you got to think about it. His father died at a young age.
He's numb. Okay.
He was a bully.
All right.
He was selling drugs.
That
you know what I'm saying?
I was like, who is this numb?
He's seen so-called good people which bad people. I'm giving a rundown of the story, guys. So the hood people helped him out to kind of get his confidence. He was paying with drug money to go to college, go to school. His girlfriend passed, the one that was good to him. So he made Angela's mom sick, and then she passed. Now he went through a lot of stuff.
True. So I can understand that. If that happened to me, I'll be numb too. I had stuff happen to me.
Yeah, but Ain't nothing happened to her, y'all.
Yes, I don't care. Okay?
No, I'm joking. Yeah. Yeah, Chris said this is why you don't mess with people's emotions. Exactly.
Yeah,
you don't know what people's going through out here, man. Facts.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah,
don't
man.
do it.
Because
you get yourself killed for real. Like, this is a real life,
Yeah.
She'd seen the obituary in my city's newspaper. I simply replied that it seemed she was busy enjoying life and that I didn't want to burden her with my grief. I quickly asked why she hadn't been texting or calling as much lately. That led her to change the subject and ask to see me. I tried my damnedest to act happy to hear from her and told her that I missed her. I asked her if she could meet me for dinner at our favorite restaurant in her town, and she readily agreed. Since Will was no longer around to keep time with, she was glad to have me back to fill in the void. I showed up to dinner with a smile and a long hug, trying to control the urge to break her spine in half. I was surprised she didn't say anything when I avoided kissing her. I'm sure she assumed in my grief that romance wasn't something I'd had in my mind much. I just had a very good idea what her mouth had been doing, and I didn't want Will's salad-tossing, knob-slobbering prison germs on me. We sat at the bar and ordered 2 drinks from our favorite bartender. He knew us as a couple, because we always tip very well. When our drinks arrived, I excused myself to the restroom and typed a short message out on my phone that read, "Make my drinks with no alcohol and make hers doubles." When I returned from the restroom, I sat next to Angie at the bar discussing drinks.
Damn, he's trying to get her ass drunk.
Oh,
he's crazy. So he's doubling hers and not taking any. Watching her get wasted, and he's like, yeah. So wow, yeah, he's. He looked this up. Like, how does he know how to do all this stuff?
We'd enjoyed, but hadn't tried in quite a while. I acted as if I was pulling up the recipe for some unusual drink. The bartender came over and asked if we were ready for another drink. I told him we were celebrating after not seeing each other for quite a while. I held up my phone for him to read the message, asking if he knew how to make that drink. He read the message and smiled, agreeing the drink I'd requested was a specialty of his. I'm sure the bartender and Angie assumed she could get as sloshed as she wanted to, and that she'd be heading to her place with me afterward. I had other plans. Angie commented how strong hers was. I told her I could barely taste the alcohol in mine. We ordered several more drinks. Angie commented about how drunk she felt. I acted confused, stating I barely felt a buzz at all. After several hours, I paid for our dinner and drinks with a sizable tip. As we exited the door, I acted like I'd gotten a very important call, which I needed to take. After the obligatory bullshit non-existent phone call, I told her I had to rush back to my town to the office. One of the lawyers needed me for a case early the next morning. I asked her to go to her house and wait on me, promising the errand wouldn't take long. I helped her into her car and watched her pull off before using my cell phone.
Wait a second.
Oh my God.
He got her drunk to put her behind the wheel to possibly get in an accident or get a DUI. Because she's not going to make it not even 30 seconds.
Yo.
To immediately call the police and tell them I'd seen a drunk driver leaving that restaurant. I urged them.
That's worse. He going to call before she drive off.
To hurry. The person was in no shape to be driving. I jumped into my car and headed towards Angie's house about 2 miles away. About a mile from her house, I saw blue lights ahead of me and slowed down to see Angie's car pulled over. I knew she was going to get a DWI, as that is in fact what I had planned. What neither she nor I knew was that Will had been using her car to deliver cocaine to low-level dealers under him. They did the obligatory search of Angie's car and found several ounces of cocaine.
Talking about revenge.
Yo, he wasn't expecting that.
Stashed beneath the back seat. I had absolutely no intention of getting her arrested for narcotics possession with intent to sell. But the fact Angie had given me her spare car key the same night she'd given her spare house key, I knew Will could have just as easily been the one to screw my life up.
Wait, how is this girl giving him a spare anything and you're messing around? Is she slow or dumb?
But she said she gave the other guy a spare key too.
She said she gave that guy. Like,
oh, okay.
Neither still had any idea I knew about her unscrupulous cheating that was revealed to all later. As I arrived back at my house and my cell phone rang from a strange number, I answered to hear Angie crying and blubbering while trying to tell me something. I got her to calm down. I actually wanted to hear what she had to say. She managed to tell me she was in jail, to which I innocently asked where and for what. When she told me what she had been arrested for, I was genuinely shocked about the drug arrest. I asked her what she wanted me to do. She wanted me to help get her out and asked me to post bond. I explained, since my mom had died, I couldn't risk putting up any of my property due to probate issues. I could have easily put my own home up as collateral, but I viewed her drug charges as collateral damage, and she'd damaged my life enough. The charges for possession of cocaine with intent to distribute carried mandatory time. I felt after what she'd done to me, with who she'd betrayed me with, part of her deserved what was coming to her. I went to her arraignment and sat in the back, hoping not to be noticed. As she entered the courtroom, she saw me. I gave her a look of confusion as to how she could ever be arrested for such a crime. I knew damn well how.
This guy is amazing, but it's, oh my gosh. The
plan was like so perfect. Like,
yo,
it's like a puzzle, you know, he just put them shit together.
God,
it makes sense, but woo.
Of course, but I had to act totally oblivious. When she tried to explain to the judge her boyfriend had been arrested for dealing drugs only days before and it had to be his, the judge didn't want to hear it. She turned around and looked at me in shame with tears in her eyes, realizing I knew she'd been cheating. I shook my head in disgust as they led her away. She knew any attempt to contact with me ever again would be a fool's errand. Bond was set extremely high for both. At Will's trial, he pled guilty and asked to forego a trial in an attempt for leniency. He got none. Angie's trial took place a few weeks later and accepted a plea. She
speechless. So
got 6 years with the possibility of parole in 3. But her career was over when she got out, and I didn't care one bit. They'd messed with the worst person they could have ever crossed. At the absolute worst time to cross me. She started her sentence 2 months ago. Her parents apologized to me. In all honesty, if she cheated on me at any other time in my life with almost anyone else, I doubt I would have sought out any revenge. But as they say, timing is everything, and their timing could not have been worse. In some ways, I'm not proud of what I did. Will deserve to be behind bars the rest of his days, if for nothing else, his past sex crimes. Angie deserved to have any chance at a future destroyed, though all I had only intended for was her to lose her license and job. I accomplished both for her, and I hope like hell her years of incarceration are miserable, and she regrets she was ever born. None of us truly ever really know who we are dealing with at any given time and who not to cross. But when love turns to hate, any and every human is capable of things they never would have dreamed. All she had to do was tell me she needed a break or say she'd met someone else. Instead, she chose to feed me lies and lies of omission. Be careful who you betray. They just might be willing to go the extra mile to ruin your present and future so badly you have no future at all. Feel free to think of me as cruel, a monster, or think I deserve just as bad a punishment as they received. That's your prerogative, and maybe I did. But I didn't get caught by the authorities or someone who'd endured way too much in life to just let things slide.
Story 1.
Yo, man. Yo, that's the end of the first one. That was crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe like
yo, like the amount of time and the amount of thought, and I think he had like a few lucky things that happened, like with the drugs being in the car. And this is for ladies. Like, hey, if you're dealing with a man, like it's like don't let no man drive your car if you don't really know him like that. Like, if you just understand, like you gotta understand what these people work, what they do, and all this type of, and you gotta actually go to their job. Like, just don't be getting in a relationship with people when they say, yeah, I work here, and you never been to their job.
I mean, you never learned when you were young. I know I did. Having somebody, I used to go when I used to have my car back then. I'm like, yo, you come in my car, you better not have nothing on you.
Exactly.
And then one person I found didn't listen. And I was like, get out, because I'm not going down for you. I don't even do this. Yeah. So you gotta, the same thing, like even when you're dating, it's the same. You cannot just trust any and everybody because they're nice or because they paid for your meal or whatever. That's not how you do that.
Yeah, man. So it's, and like Chris, this was like, man, this is still reigning true. He said, this is why you don't mess with people's emotion, man, because people can screw you over. A lot of times they say there's no hell. It's nothing like hell, fear of a woman scoring, all that. You know that saying, right? Hell has no fear of a woman scoring. A lot of men can be that way too as well. You know what I mean? So ladies, y'all be careful, just like men. Hey, y'all need to make sure y'all doing people right, because if y'all doing people wrong, man, somebody can do something like this and they can mess your life up. It's been plenty of people's lives messed up because they did the wrong thing or they messed around or did whatever. So
yeah, it has, it's not just relationships, it's just in life. Like, you gotta treat people how you want to be treated, period. And be genuine when you do it. Don't just do it because you want to receive something, because that could turn around on you too. Your intentions are not there. Your intentions are bad. So make sure that you have great intentions when you're doing for someone. So.
Yeah, man.
Now you said there's another story.
Yeah. So
What
it's
is
one
this
more.
one?
This one is a shorter one. I forgot which one.
Short how?
Yeah, it's like this is gonna be a lot quicker than the last one. The last one, it's gonna get right to the point. Let's read some comments. I think probably was Just Rules one.
Okay, which one? Good.
Yeah. He said, yes, this story stressed the fact that how important it is meeting relatives of those who have interest in for a relationship. Yeah, exactly. It said, yes, bro. He said, let's request oh, bad. All right, Travel One says the rally is he didn't marry Angela. She is single, sad about his personal life. He just needs to move on. Maybe vet women for marriage and commitment. He may need therapy first for his life traumas. Yeah, exactly. I think he does need therapy, honestly. But I think he was in the process of probably wanting to marry her. So especially when you're in a relationship, because you don't want to just, hey, I want to marry you right in 2-3 months, right? You know what I mean? Some people do it, but I don't think a lot of those marriages last because you don't really have enough time to, especially in this day and age. If this was back in the day, I would say, yeah, because people were staying together, they was figuring it out. But a lot of people don't want to put the time and the effort to figure stuff out today. So, yep. And Chris said fatal attraction.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely fatal attraction.
Yeah, man. So, all right, you ready for the next one?
Sure.
About a year ago, and my current girlfriend encouraged me to post here and share my experience with my cheating ex and how my life has never been better. My therapist also agrees, so here we go. Throwaway, because I am pretty sure my ex knows my main Reddit account. I, 25 male, was dating my ex-girlfriend. Let's call her Jess, 24 female, for 4.5 years. We met at university as she was in my business management class. We got put together on a huge project for the semester and we just sort of clicked, and after we finished the project I asked her out, and she said yes. Those first few years together were absolute bliss. We were all lovey-dovey with each other and overall everything just felt right between us. We rarely argued and we never got into fights. We communicated clearly and openly with each other. I really thought she was the one that I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Hell, I was saving up to buy her a ring, but here I am. During the last half year of our relationship, she began to grow distant and was constantly making excuses on why we couldn't hang out together as much. Both of us, of course, were out of university and we had begun working full-time jobs, so I thought this was normal. Note, we never were living together, but then soon enough she was starting to turn down intimacy. For some background info, me and her have very high libidos. We normally would go at it at least once a day. I always wore protection and she was on the pill because neither of us were ready to have kids, thank God. One night we decided to spend the night at her place. I tried to initiate intimacy and of course she turned it down. This was really beginning to piss me off and I voiced my frustrations to her, but she just said that she wasn't feeling comfortable with her body at the time and asked to give her some space when it came to initiating intimacy. I agreed and we both went to bed. Or at least she did. I just had this gut feeling in my stomach that something was off and I went to snoop on her phone once I knew she was asleep. Yeah, I know this is bad, but I don't regret it one bit, and found out that she was pairing off with her serial cheating ex, 24 male. Found messages, pictures and full-blown videos of them ducking. The videos ducking crushed me. In those videos she was acting and saying things that really made me look at her as nothing more than a waste of space and a promiscuous woman. At that very moment all I could feel was resentment towards her. I looked down at her as she was sleeping and all I could feel was visceral disgust. I then took screen
Appreciate that,
God.
Travel. We was in there talking. Yeah, appreciate that. We struggle screaming. Thanks, Travel One.
Thank you.
But no, I was saying like basically what's going at is that a lot of times when people stop, like especially women, right? When they stop giving you access to it, most of the time it's either they depressed or going through something mentally wrong, or it's somebody else, right? So as men, we have to be willing to figure out what's going on. I wouldn't say automatically think she's cheating. Just thinking maybe, hey, she's probably stressed out or something is going wrong. And then if, hey, you're trying to help her out and she's not trying to help, she's not trying to get better or something like that, and you kind of start seeing other signs, maybe you can start leaning to
that she's messing.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
But why? I don't think if a lady doesn't want to have sex, I don't think it has. Not everybody's depressed. So what if she just don't want to do it because she's just not and want to do it? It has nothing to do with you.
That's weird because he said they had high libidos.
She said, oh.
Yeah, in the story, they both had high libido. They was doing it once every day. You know what I'm saying?
No. So what she did was try to do that to get him. She wasn't really wanting to do it. That's the thing. Because if you just stop all of a sudden, and you was about that life before, now you're not. I mean, unless she has children or something to where hormones change, and then he didn't say they had kids.
No.
So she probably just did it just to get him. That's it.
Nah, it's. I think it's more on the line of something's going on mentally or cheating. Whatever. It could be what you said.
You know what
I'm
saying? Some women do that too. Men too. I'm just saying. I'm talking about women. Some ladies do that. They just do it. Oh, this is what he likes, even though they're not even trying to do it.
Yeah. So yeah, just be on the lookout for those type of signs, guys. So, all right.
Shots of all the messages and sent them to me, including the other pics she sent him. Not the videos though. I couldn't bear to send those. I quietly took whatever belongings I still had at her apartment and took them out to my car and went back to my apartment. In the morning she called me and asked me where I was, and I just gave her a quick believable excuse and she bought it. Now here is some background info. Now let me introduce you to one of my close childhood friends. Let's call her Julia, 21, female. Julia and I were really close throughout our childhood through high school. Me and her brother are best friends. They live a block away from my parents' home and where I grew up. Now about a year after me and Jess got together, I returned back to my hometown for my cousin's wedding and began hanging out with my old friends, including Julia and her brother. During that night she confessed that she had feelings for me. I turned her down and told her that I already had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
She was very understanding and apologized, and after that we didn't really talk.
So why are you hanging out with her then?
No, that was childhood friends.
I don't give a damn.
No, it's you know how you bump into somebody that you knew for the past.
But not by yourself.
Oh my God, look at she.
Go ahead and try it. No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Like if I had a child, if I had a childhood friend, I'm not gonna sit here. Well, let me go hang out with you by myself.
But no, it was because the two brothers are best friends. So he was probably hanging out with the brother, and then she came into the picture. So
so she randomly came into the picture, or it was already knowing that she was gonna come. I wouldn't do that. That's what I'm saying.
But think about it. If you was raised with somebody, you seen them as a kid grow up. And
I'm saying hanging out. I wouldn't hang out with them by myself.
No, they whatever. I don't think they was hanging out by themselves, but you know how you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, be careful.
That's how it starts. You have to include your partner. You cannot. Oh, I see a childhood friend, cool, and then you plan. I'm gonna bring my husband or my wife with me. That's it. So nothing won't go down. I'm just saying. In general, it's not about going down. It's just respect.
As much as I didn't want to give her any indications that I was interested in a relationship with her since I was dating Jess. She was fine with this and understood it with no issues at all. She doesn't use social media, so the only way we would talk is over iMessage. During that time I took a lot of photos of all of us hanging out with each other again. I went back to university about a week later and I showed Jess where I was and who I was with, as she was interested in seeing who I hung out with during my trip. Whilst we were scrolling through images, a picture of me and Julia popped up. She began to ask questions about her and who she was. I already explained to her that she was a childhood friend of mine and that during the trip she confessed feelings for me, but I shot her down and I showed her the text messages to back it up. And over.
He didn't have to do all that. That's what I'm saying. These women, men, whatever, they don't care. So you let them in. They're like, ooh, I got him by myself. I don't have to. What? Okay, let me shoot my shot. That's just how it is.
At least he had the proof though to show her.
No, he's good. I'm just saying, you don't allow it. That's what I'm saying, because you just allowing someone to do stuff like that, because this is how it is. We're in a society where people don't care about your life, your kids, your wife, your husband, nothing. Yeah. So especially if she's single. So yeah.
Well, she seemed fine with that. About a year later, during a little argument we had, she confessed to me that she was very insecure about her body and that she grew very insecure after seeing pictures of Julia, because Julia had a very slim figure and looked gorgeous. I did my best to calm her fears, but I think in the end she never really got over that. Now back to the story.
No, ladies, don't compare yourself with another female.
Yeah.
If you want your body to look like this other girl, then make it look like that other girl. Understand that your body's going to be different. So it's not going to look exactly like somebody. But you have to try. You cannot be jealous, envious, and all this other type of things about somebody else when you can go ahead and do similar things. And it's not about being the same. It's just that you like this body, right? You're like, I want myself to have, so go and get it.
Now, I would say
that's insecure.
I would say, I get what you're saying. I think I get what, because I I was making fun, but I was to use if I took a little what you were saying, it was funny, but no, I think it's more of hey, a lot of times women, you have to understand men, right? So men, we respect loyalty rather than looks, right? So you was already good enough to get in a relationship with him, right? So you already meet the looks test.
I don't mean that.
No. Just let me finish. You already meet the looks test, right? So if you bring loyalty and other things to the test, to the table, now he can see a girl that looks better than you, right? Now, but he's like, hey, you have these other qualities that this other girl doesn't have, so I'd rather have you rather than just the looks on this woman. Just like you think you the baddest woman in the world?
Me.
No, you're not the baddest woman in the world. But you bring you bring other things to the table that I know that baddest woman in the world won't have, that won't bring.
That doesn't matter.
No, it's the truth. I'm just telling you how men look at it. So with ladies, if you in the situation that you feeling insecure, think about it. Hey, he's in a relationship with you for a reason. That means you already met the looks category. You're already good. You are already at there. So if you bring the other things high enough to the table, he's not going to want to lose you because he's going to value you as a person.
That's a certain type of man, right? So we're talking about sex. Some people separate sex and separate, I got somebody good at the home. So right now, her quote unquote body don't look that good. And he knows that we're not going to hide it. So if I'm just saying in general, if a man... Yeah, if she knows she got bigger or whatever her problem is, he knows that she got bigger.
No, it wasn't. He just she has said the girl looked better than her. That's it.
But she's saying that she's overweight or something.
Nah.
Or like a little certain area she doesn't like. So why doesn't she like her body?
No, she said the girl looked better than her. That's why. That's it.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. So what's up, Hustle and Muscle? What's on, brother? All right, let's get back into it.
Messaged my parents back in my hometown and asked them if I could stay at their place for the upcoming week as I have some important things to discuss with them, and they were worried but agreed. I've been telling Jess that I was going down to see my parents as I haven't seen them in a while. I want to visit them, and she didn't bat an eyelid at that. I went to work and met with my boss and explained to him the entire situation, and I asked for a little break, and he told me to take as much time as I need and come back when I'm ready. I went on my way down there during the weekend and told my parents everything. They were truly disgusted with her actions, and my mom told me that if I ever took her back she was not allowed at their house ever. I told my mom not to worry, I had enough self-dignity to not ever take her back. I then messaged Julia and asked if she and I could talk. She agreed and I went over to her apartment. I explained everything that I found out about Jess. I don't know what happened, but I think at that very moment everything kind of hit me and I began to cry profusely. Not only because I lost someone I loved, but the fact that I wasted so much time on her and I would never get that time back. Julia was there to console me throughout my entire breakdown. After a little while I calmed down. She brought out some drinks and we just drank, watched movies and played Mario Kart till about 2 a.m. At this point we were both quite tipsy to say the least, and I couldn't really go back to my parents' place. She offered me to stay the night and I did. We went to her room and one thing led to another and we were making out on her bed. Just before we took off our clothes she told me to take out my phone and to start recording. As you can probably guess, we did the deed quite a few times that night. The entire time we were doing it Julia was yelling out derogatory things about Jess like this V is so much tighter than that filthy promiscuous woman, stuff like that. After our last go I went and stopped recording and we went to bed. I woke up the next day to smell of her making breakfast and we ate together.
So she's dang.
Did I miss something here?
No, so she recorded.
Who is she?
So the friend that you was concerned about, right? So the friend recorded the video of them.
The one that said that she confessed that she likes him.
Yeah.
And he denied her. And
exactly.
Okay.
So so he after he found out that his girl cheated, he was over there.
She said filthy whore.
Yeah. So he was playing games and got drunk. And then now she used that time as advantage.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, hey, somebody else would love the hell out your partner if you don't do it. So
no, that's true.
You know what I mean? So hey, make sure you know what I mean, doing right by people when you're in a relationship, because you know what I mean, somebody can easily, especially when you're down or at a low state, they can come in, do a couple good little deeds, and then now that whole love they have for you is gone. You know, not even with somebody else. So now she's took a video of them, you know what I mean, having, you know, relations, and you know what I mean, now talking trash about her, you know what I mean, to him. So it's I wonder what they're gonna do with this video.
I asked her why she wanted me to record what we did last night, and she said that she wanted to help me get some payback. I never once mentioned getting revenge on Jess, but I guess Julia knows me pretty well and knows that I would want to get some revenge just for treating me this way. She told me to just send her the audio file from the recording and break up with her. She told me that she still has feelings for me and will wait for me to sort everything out with Jess. I told her I can't promise her anything and she said that was fine. She just wanted me to know. After that we said our goodbyes and I went back to my parents' home and they were kind of worried asking where I was last night. I told them me and Julia were just catching up. My parents were relieved, but as my parents got ready for work my dad had a small smirk on his face. Guess he knows what I was doing that night. I went onto my computer and downloaded the video from my phone and edited the video to just audio and a black screen. Once that was done I spent the rest of the weekend with my friends partying and having fun, as well as spending a lot of time with Julia and maybe making love a few times as well, this time no recording. I informed my boss that I would be returning to work in about a week and he said that was perfectly fine. Best boss ever. I then texted Jess that I knew she was pairing off with her ex and I sent all the screenshots. My last message to her ever was treat me like a game and I will show you how it's played, and I attached the audio of me and Julia having sex and then blocked her. Over the next few days I was getting spam calls and spam messages from a bunch of our mutual friends and her family. I sent them all the screenshots of the text messages that I had and it was radio silence for the most part after that. Her parents called me and apologized for their daughter's behavior and that was that. Where I am now about 1 year later. I just had my 26th birthday with my family and girlfriend.
Yo, sheesh.
Wow,
Oh,
so
man.
that's crazy.
Yo, man. So yeah, so it they sent the audio file of him saying that.
That's wild. Like,
No, man. But honestly, guys, like we kind of just, you know, I mean, you never know how people are. That's what kind of why we made this video, kind of showing y'all what's happening in the world, because a lot of times we like to just do whatever we want to do to people and just say, oh, whatever, they'll get over it, or you know what I mean, or I don't care about how they feel about this situation. Honestly, we have to get better as a people. So when we do actually do something, be willing to say, hey, I'm sorry, I messed up, or be able to say, hey, I didn't much know I was doing that. You know what I mean? My bad. You know what I mean? Or kind of just hit a person out, because sometimes it could be BS. You know what I mean? And you can talk it through and actually help them to understand your side of you, even if they don't accept it. At least you did that. So we just kind of wanted to you know, show what's going on in this world, and you know what I mean, it's people out there that do you dirty, especially if you let them. So you know what I mean. So, but there was two crazy stories. That the first one was crazy, got crazy at the end, but yeah, it was a long getting into it. What you thought about it?
yeah, cheating is just, why do it? I mean, you just have to, if you feel like the person is not satisfying your needs, providing that you don't have kids, you're just, you know, in a space where you didn't get married yet, you don't have to be with that person. Okay, that's what I'm saying. If you have kids, see, I can't talk about when you have kids because y'all know how I am. You got kids, you know, you got to try to make it work for the kids. But besides that, you have no kids and you're married, you got to make sure you're not stepping out and doing those things, because what happens is people have their own way of doing things. They're not going to know how they're going to handle it until it happens. Honestly, we could say all day, we're not going to do this and not going to do that until it happens to you. And then your emotions just go crazy wild. So you don't know how you're going to handle the situation. And the people that are doing something bad to you, you don't know how they're going to handle the situation. Some people go manic and then it's like, they don't even know they were about to do something crazy. So you don't want to give somebody control and power to destroy your life back, right? You don't give nobody that ammunition. You have to keep it like drama free. If you don't like something, say something, right? If you don't like something, say something. It's not getting resolved, then leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. So, but yeah, man. Honestly, like, you know, thank y'all for rocking with us and kind of being here and listen to the stories. Thank you all for commenting and, you know, I mean, basically being a big supporter of our channel. We know we can continue to try to improve and do better things. We're gonna kind of get some better. We probably want you to mix it up next week, or you want to talk about something else next week, or you want to do another story.
We'll see. You know, we're real sporadic with these things. Like it's just how it's gonna be spontaneous. Depends on what's going on. But yeah. We give you some juicy stories is what we're trying to do. Yeah, man. And we are going to be posting more videos. Sorry, we had a real busy week this week, so we wasn't able to post a lot of them, but we already got them recorded and halfway edited. We just got to do a couple more touches, and we should be posting some tomorrow, probably Monday tomorrow. So yeah, man. So, yeah. It said, Chris says that, well, in today's society, it's hard to find someone who is genuine. Yeah, man. And that's why that's why we wanted to make this channel, because we got to bring that back. We got to bring that genuine, that love to be in relationship. We want people to actually see it.
because a lot of times people like, hey, they out there, and then people like, where they at? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, no, hey, Lady Di and James, they're a genuine couple. They hear, they talk to you. You know what I'm saying? So you can actually get this in this world today. We just kind of got to put those people together so they can actually, build.
And that's the thing. They're out there, but it's just like, do you know what they look like? That's the big issue. So we're trying to make it where you are understanding, okay, you're aware of these signs. If this sign and that sign pops up, you might as well throw that away. Don't give nobody the benefit of the doubt. You don't never do that when you're dating. You don't, because if you give somebody a benefit of doubt, that's when you're giving them, a reason to do something that you didn't see coming, but they already was planning it. Yeah. So don't give nobody a benefit of doubt. You have to read all signs. It's very important. Even when you let's say you like, okay, I want to settle with this person, right? And you settle with the relationship starting off, you have to continue to like watch, because you just never know. People's intentions are not the best. So
yeah, and I would say, man, take charge more. Honestly, we have to start putting our foot down on a lot of situations. And even if that woman is not okay with it, hey, she got to go. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're gonna get blamed for it, no matter how that relationship ends, how that relationship is started. If y'all in the homeless shelter, if y'all not, if anything that bad happened, you're gonna get blamed for it anyway. So you might as well take charge of what's going on. And if that woman doesn't want to, follow your leadership, she can go with somebody else. That's that's like that. And that's a actual good way to help, get somebody help you get with somebody that's genuine. Because a woman that's genuine, she's gonna be okay with that, because she's gonna when something is not when something's messing up, she's gonna look at you. All right, what we doing? But the woman that's saying no, but the woman that's out there and is just gonna blame you when something go wrong. All right, what we gonna do, nigga? You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be waiting on you to mess up. You know what I mean? So they can say something to you.
That's
but
toxic.
But if you already seen her, how she's listening to your leadership and she's listening to what you got going on, you will know you already know you got somebody good. So that's the way to weed it out.
Yeah. So anyway, so definitely that was good points for sure to that. Definitely James had a lot of gems he was dropping throughout this time. So hopefully you guys are taking notes and just pay attention to these stories, even though we're talking about Reddit stories, but a lot of these stories are real. People do things like this. And if you're the one that's trying to get revenge, I would say, in my opinion, don't do that. Let it happen on its own naturally. Whatever is coming for them will come, and just start partaking to none of that. If you're anything like James, he's the revengeful type. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not a revenge. Honestly, man, like my revenge is not you not being with me no more. Honestly,
that's what somebody said on here. Right?
Yeah, because that's gonna show, like, because at the end of the day, you're gonna figure out, all right, cool, I was with a good person, I should have did right by them. Because you're not gonna. It's like Chris said, it's hard to find genuine people. So now it's gonna be you gonna be out in the streets and you thinking this person's gonna be genuine. They not. They're gonna be lying to you. Gonna tell it like it is. Not tell it like it is. They're gonna tell you what you want to hear, and they're gonna screw you over. And then once they get done screwing you over, you're gonna come back to me and I'll be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. That's a good revenge, I guess.
Yeah, man. So
it's not intentional. It's like it's just natural. So
yeah, man. Yep. So we got one more comment. Said not only is it hard to find a decent genuine woman, most of them are single moms, and most of them have mental health issues and won't seek the help too. Yeah. And that's why we have to honestly get them before a lot of these issues start happening, right? So like if you're an older guy, try to date younger, 22, 23,
some people don't want to date
24-year-old. But
because if he's like 40, some guys don't want to date a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at the maturity. It's not about. It's like, yeah, okay, she can have kids. She's not a single mom, but then damn, she's so young. She's immature.
Yeah.
And my daughter's 20. Like they have kids.
But like, you think somebody that's a woman in their 40s, they don't have no kids. Something wrong with
30.
That. Like,
I was saying 20 is like.
Remember when what's the guy, the comedian? He was like, man, nobody ever believed in you. Like,
yeah. So you're 40, date 30s. That's me. Now everybody's different. That's just 10 years younger, not 20, 25 years.
But yeah, we just gotta men, just get more aggressive out here. If you see a good woman, like, hey, say something to her. And then it depends on how she respond. You know what I mean? Now you can see if she's a good woman or not. So that's a way. We gotta kind of get more stern in our approach. We gotta bring back men. You know what I mean? So that's my advice. If you're especially if you're a young man, hey, say what you want. Hey, I like you. Hey, I want to get to know you better. See,
but
like
so you
let's
can't
go.
even do that because these ladies are like, no, he's moving too fast.
No. If she's like that, then be like, hey, I'm thinking about getting married.
That don't mean that she's bad.
I know. That's why I said. That's what you explain. You say, hey, I'm looking at getting married. I'm tired of playing games out here. Are you genuinely? Do you want to get married? And then they're gonna tell you. They're gonna be like, hey, if they can't accept that, then hey, you gotta go move on.
No, I get that. I'm saying there's ladies out here that they don't care. They will just, oh, you're moving too fast. They'll just use that, and it's like they're not moving fast. They're trying to let you know, hey, this is what I want to do. Are you down or not? But they have these different reasons and excuses to get away from something, even though they might not be a bad person. It's just like a security barrier.
But I don't think that's a genuine person, because it shouldn't matter how the speed that you're going. If you genuinely want to get in a relationship, you genuinely want to get married, you genuinely want to have a family, it don't matter how fast it's going, because you're on the trip. It's kind of like when you were a kid growing up. You didn't care how fast your mom and dad was driving when they was on a road trip. You just cared that you got to that destination.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
So if you're hold on. So if your destination as a woman is to get married, don't matter how fast that man is moving, you in the back seat, because you want him to be the leader, right? If you want him to be the leader, or you want to be the 50-50 partnership, you sit next to him, say, hey, nigga, you need to slow down. No,
I get that. I'm saying that doesn't mean that she's not genuine. It's just that she doesn't know better. So she's missing out on something good. Don't mean that she's bad.
Yeah.
It's just that she doesn't know better. So that's what we as women do. It's a security barrier. So with that is what's stopping a lot of ladies from trying to settle down with good men. And then men are not going to be that patient. They ain't got time for all of that. So they're going to move on. So it's kind of like, it's bad there. So that's just how, I'm just telling you how ladies think.
Yeah. But honestly, for things to change, we're gonna have to make a drastic change. So women gonna have to start, if they want,
trusting more.
Yeah, if they want men to, hey, step up. Hey, I want you to hold it down. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. All right, cool, men. Let's do it. You know, let's put your neck out there. Hey, if you are in that situation that you really want to get married, if a man is moving too fast, you better fucking just go.
Catch up.
Let's go.
It's trust. That's all.
Exactly, man. So we have to make change. What's up, Big? What's up, brother? You know what I mean? So we have to do what we got to do to get to the goal we have to get, because what we're doing right now is failing. You right? Oh, you moving too fast. Let's move slow. All right, now you move damn out of a relationship. You moving so damn slow. You're not in a relationship
anymore. It's emotions. So that's why men, you know, if women are like the emotional ones, I gotta teach them logic, because it's not what they're what they're doing is not logical. They don't know that that's gonna mess up the relationship. They looking around saying it's not their fault. They just blaming one person. It's both. So I think it just has to be a reality check of like logic. Because if we say it and they still don't get it, it's just logical that if the man is leading, that he should lead you and help you for the things that you need help with. And then you need to follow the path of a trusted man, not, oh, you're moving too fast and then that's it. I don't want to be with you. Isn't he? And that moving too fast thing is something that someone else said. You see that in movies. That's not a real thing. Yeah. You want a man to move fast if he's looking at you like, yeah, you're a wife.
Exactly.
You don't want it to be slow.
Because he's looking at you like, hey, I need to get you right now before somebody else grab your ass. So like, before you want me to slow down so another motherfucker can take you from me? So like, that's what you're telling me?
That's honesty. Like, women need to hear more of the why. They just hearing, I want to get married to you. And they're like, but we just met. They're just met could be, you know, the 6 months, a year, 2 years. I'm just saying.
What we waiting on?
It's just what has to happen is men have to teach women logic. Period. It's not logical how it's being thought about, but they don't think that it's wrong. That's why I said it doesn't mean that they're not genuine. They don't think nothing wrong of it. So it just makes sense by what the analogies that we just said. So you have to let them know that. And then it don't take one day.
Yeah. If a woman say you moving too fast, it's a red flag. No, no, I'm joking. But no, man.
Speak their level. That's all.
No, but yeah, going into what Chris said, we got to be more genuine in this aspect. He said the fight is hard. You have the feminist movement, the hookup culture. and you have the materialistic women that you have to look for. But see, guys, like I would say, it's not hard because we know what this look like now, right? So if we know, just like how a lot of people say the government is against our people, we got this and got that, right? We know how it looks. They putting guns in our neighborhood. All right, cool. Don't pick the damn gun up. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to, we see what's going on. We see what type of women is which. You can ask a woman 2 questions, know exactly what she think about. You know what I mean? You can ask her like, hey, what's your ideas on pro-life, pro-choice?
Try me.
What's your idea on pro-life, pro-choice, right?
But
I'm saying, but you can tell is that you can ask a few questions. Hey, what's going on, Bruiser? What's up, brother?
What's up?
You know, I mean, you can ask a few questions of what, and you can know exactly what this woman's belief system is. And then, all right, cool. I got to move on to the next one. You know what I'm saying? You can. It depends on what you look at, right? As a man, but you already know how these women talk and stuff. So, and you can say, all right, cool. She's with. Hey, you like 50-50 partnerships, or you like the man leading, right?
They don't know that answer.
And then they say, oh, if they say, hey, I like the man leading, right? All right, cool. All right, so if you had a job, whatever, would we have one bank account, or would you have your own bank account? And if she say, hey, I want my own bank account, you already know how the hell you gonna want me to be the lead? Wait, how the hell you gonna want me to be the lead if I'm saying, hey, I want access to that bank account? And she said, no, you can't have access to it. All right, so you don't want a fucking leader. You want a 50-50 motherfucker.
So then you got to ask her, what are you going to do with this money? Because if you're not paying bills and I'm leading, so then you have to keep figuring out what are you trying to do with it. Now, she says, hey, I want to go buy a whole bunch of stuff. Then you already know that she has a spending problem. Then she's materialistic.
Exactly.
So then you keep going. Either you're going to be patient and be like, hey, you don't got to do all that. And like teach her, because obviously she don't have that training, right? And be like, yeah, okay, she has these good traits, but she got to fix that one. That don't mean that she's bad. It's just that this is what happened, right? Because someone said she could do that. She listens to all her other friends that are married, or she listens to her mother, her aunt, and they're telling her that she can have her own bank account and spend whatever she wants. So that's what I'm saying with patience with guys. I wouldn't just throw her out. I would just see if she's gonna be able to listen and be teachable. First, you got to keep going, because some women just don't know that this is wrong. Not all. I'm not trying to take up for no lady who is trying to use you and abuse you. I'm talking about the ones who are unaware. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying.
No, I think, guys, we understand that that we're going to have to do, especially in today's time, because most people didn't have that growing up, right? It was crazy, you know what I mean? Us growing up as kids and looking at how the world is now, but we're gonna have to make some changes, you know, in today's time. Like, we can't build if we only building on one check and you just spending your money on anything you want. That money could have went towards investments. So because if he's paying all the bills, his money is taking care of the bills. Your money can go and take care of the investments. Now y'all are setting up retirement plans. So now when most people say, hey, I don't have that $2 million or whatever, how much money you need for retirement? Hey, y'all been doing this since y'all 20s, right? So now y'all in y'all 70s and 80s, imagine the investment portfolio in your 70s and 80s from 20 years. That's 50 years of investing.
So yeah, this is the grown ass conversation you have with a lady. This is what's not happening. Because it's just like, well, we need to have one bank account. You're not gonna put it in one pot and then it's a whole bunch of arguing for no reason. She don't understand that it needs to be one pot, because what you just said makes, valid sense. Okay, because now it's making her think like, oh, I didn't think about a retirement plan. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta like express and explain logic to ladies, and then it's gonna help them get on that, on that train as well. Yep. All
right, brother, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, Just Rules, I see you too, brother, man. Appreciate that, man. Always showing love. It's Chris said the world is failing. Indonesia just passed a law that you have to be married before you can have sex. Yeah, man. Because they understand what's going on with this hookup culture in America, what's going on, and everybody's starting to follow this stuff. They understand. They're seeing how families are getting split apart. So they trying their best to like, hey, you gonna have to be here. You gonna have to stay in this relationship. You just can't be hooking up and getting all this value from this woman. And now because women, you got to understand, like, once we get that from y'all, we taking all y'all value away, and you let us do it, so us as men gonna have to start being more aggressive. The ones that want to get married, I'm not talking about the ones that's gonna be stupid because they're gonna stay stupid, whatever, but the ones that want to get married, they want to be something, they want to have the family, they wants the world to be a better place and be different, because all this hookup culture, we already seen the world is getting worse and worse.
The sad thing is like is leaning more towards people that just want to be hooking up. They don't want to commit. So that's just speechless.
Yeah,
that's
man.
I don't know why it shifted like that. It's kind of like you hear stories from other people and you want to implement it in your space. Okay, that's a story that you heard from somebody else. It does not mean it's going to happen to you.
I hate that shit.
It does not mean
sorry, Chris. I hate that shit.
It does not mean that the person you met is going to do those same things because he showed you a sign of what you misunderstood. So you cannot pin other people's traumas on someone, on you and who you're dating. You gotta sometimes you gotta let people show you. Not saying you gotta get married. You want to do all the testing before you get married, but you cannot just like you did the same thing that this person did, and it's gonna lead to that thing.
Yes.
You don't know that.
Yo, I hate when people
ask questions.
I hate when people put their trauma on somebody else, or they say, "Well, I know my grandmama got abused when she was younger than blah." Like, nigga, that ain't you.
They'll say because she got married at 19. Yeah, it didn't work out because
you got abused, and you don't know.
I'm not getting married at 19.
Yeah, you don't know nothing what happened in that story. That woman could have been whipping his ass for 10 years before that, and you never know about none of that. And then now the kids see him here one time. Now all of a sudden it's, he's been doing that for all these years. Stop adding people's trauma to yours. People are talking about how they friend got cheated on or something like that, whatever. And these men ain't this or women ain't this because of blah 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 and all. Like, stop adding your trauma on other people's situation, right? Like they said it was okay for Tia. This one person in the comment section said it was okay for Tia to divorce her because when he was a child, he was happy that his parents divorced because the dad was abusing him and all this different stuff, and the mom was on crack and all this. I'm like, that's not her situation. Tia's not on crack. They not being abused. None of that stuff is happening to them. So just because that happened to you and you was okay that your parents split up, that doesn't means that it's okay for them kids that have to be in a single parent household because your parent your parents went through this crap.
Yeah, you can't pin them.
Like, y'all go get some help, yo. Like, it's crazy. It said, James, most of them are chameleons. However, it makes me feel untrusted because the vetting tedious. Yeah, man. So I would say, and you have to continue to do testing. Like I told y'all, I don't know if y'all remember if I said on the live stream, I tested my wife a lot of different times, and she didn't much know. Like, I told her like years down some of the stuff she learning from us doing these lives.
Like, you did that?
Yeah, but you have to continue to do testing, and the woman is going to do it too as well, because women are good at this, right? So us men, we have to become better at putting different tests and see how she reacts to it. How she is when she gets angry. Does she automatically blame you, or does she take accountability? When the last time she apologized for doing something wrong? If she never apologized to you, you mean to tell me she been perfect the whole relationship? If she been perfect the whole damn relationship, she a damn chameleon, because there's no fucking way she been perfect the whole relationship. You know what I'm saying? So we have different tests that we can do as men that we can see, and women too as well. They can take this advice too as well. You have to put people in situations to see how they react.
So you're basically testing. So whatever your goals are for a relationship, you're testing them to make sure they mark you, that they check off your goals with a test. So if you want someone to not spend a lot of money, you put her or him in a situation to see how they deal with spending money. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, you need work here, here, and here. Or no, I would never be with you because they have a gambling problem or something. See, anything with addictions, I wouldn't say that unless you got patience to figure that out and stop it. I wouldn't even get into that. But then you have people who just don't know how to spend money.
Yeah.
So you give them that financial literacy and see what they do with that. Now, if they like, nah, I'm good, and they find excuses not to be this, then dismiss them. You don't have to proceed and be patient no more because they're telling you. But if you're like, okay, cool, you need this, so you work on that. Per goal you have, it needs to be, one at a time. It takes a while. It's tedious. Yeah. I'm not gonna say it's something that's easy, but in order to get something good, it's not gonna be easy to get. You have to work to get it. So.
Even getting into the kingdom of heaven is gonna be hard. They said in the scripture, getting into the kingdom of heaven is gonna be hard. So anything that's valuable, you're gonna have to work for it, right? And you're gonna have to do the work in the beginning to set the foundation. If you don't set the foundation strong, any storm gonna come, it's gonna blow the relationship away. and you're gonna be screwed. So we as people, we kind of gotta start setting a great foundation. We're gonna have to start fixing the little different things that we got to stop blaming the other person for everything they doing. Listen to what they're saying that you're doing wrong. Try to fix those things, and then now once you tell them, hey, I don't like that you're doing this, that person fix those things, and then instead of y'all blaming each other for not fixing it, say, hey, I need to work on my stuff more. And then the other person, hey, I need to work on myself more. And then now, once y'all kind of come together, it's not no blaming thing. It's a more of a, okay, I've been working on this. Have I been getting better at this? I know you say you didn't like this, right? Hey, have I been getting better at it? And then they're gonna be like, a little bit, but I think you still need some work. All right, cool. Be willing to accept that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna be perfect, right? And it's gonna be always things you can work on to get better. And then her the same way. She said, hey, yeah. How have I been doing? Have my attitude been better? Hey, have I been dressing appropriately? How do you how do you like me around your family? Do you think your family respects me? And blah blah blah. Both sides.
All the questions, not those specific questions, but I used to ask James a lot of questions when we were in a relationship because I'm like, I gotta make sure that you like me for who I am. I ain't trying to do all this changing unless it's something that's gonna be beneficial for the situation where it makes sense. But you have to make sure the person that you're with is with you for what you're doing. So you don't want to be with somebody like forcing them to be, oh, you got to like all these things about me. And he's like, no, I don't like that. And then now you're settling because you're being with me, but you don't even like me like that. And now we're going to have a settled ass relationship. And then we're going to get married. No, you got to make sure that you guys are with each other because y'all really, really like each other. That is important. You have to really, really like this person before you get married. Because then you don't want to have issues with, oh, you're annoying. You're not doing this. You already knew they wasn't going to do that because that wasn't their personality. That's going towards, people saying, oh, he's too boring. Well, he was boring when he was with him. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. You got to make sure that y'all fit. So when you ask these questions, you're going to see if y'all fit based on how they respond. So you got to have someone that you are in common. It don't have to be all the way in common. But for the most part, you want to have things in common.
Yeah. Change your energy.
It makes it easier.
And change your energy. If you think the world is negative, the world is going to be negative. If you think the world is positive, the world is going to be positive. Right. So when you're in this world, your energy can give people a wrong impression of you. Right. So a lot of times we like, hey, well, we can't find this. We can't find this. I'm not going to find. So you thinking that you're not going to find it. Right. So you got to kind of be more open and say, hey, I understand I've been through this. I understand I've been through this, but I'm gonna keep my mind open. I'm gonna keep myself positive. So if somebody does come in my life or come around me, they don't feel that negative energy that I'm just, oh, you just one of those women, or you just one of those men, you a dog, and blah blah blah. And they just like, what are you talking about? I just, just did this one little small thing. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta, even when me coming out of my situation, I was like, hey, it's okay. I'm gonna find a good woman. I prayed, did my thing. And then I'm just going to be patient and wait. And I'm going to fix. I said, I'm going to fix on myself. And so when a woman does come, I will be okay. I'll be ready. So we have to do that as a people. Now, once my wife came, it was quicker than what I expected.
It was way too fast.
Yeah, but I was.
He prayed one night. The next week, I was there. I was
it wasn't that quick. But
2 months. It was like 3 months. That's fast.
Yeah.
To be exact, it was like 3-4 months.
Yeah. So
like, wow.
You know what I mean? But I was more focused on fixing me rather than what I'm gonna tell the next woman to do, right? So hey, be willing to fix yourself, and we'll be all right. So I said travel one. She says lessons, dating/court vet on the same plan, get married by a whole happy, healthy. Be whole, happy, healthy before marriage, like each other.
Ladies also, yep. If you want marriage, he dragging his feet, move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't, because
so this is the opposite side.
7-year engagement. Everybody got time to be waiting. All right.
This is the opposite
what are
side.
we doing?
So when they was women complaining earlier about men moving too fast, this is the men moving too slow.
Yeah, that's what you said. It's either you're going too slow, going too fast.
Yeah. So what I mean. So which one you prefer? You prefer some? Hey, I want to be married. I want to do this. I want to do that. Right? Because now that situation with travel one can happen to you. Now you're in a 10-year relationship, no marriage in sight. Y'all comfortable. Y'all saying a piece of paper don't mean nothing. And then y'all making this marriage certificate. I mean, our marriage rates look like it's lower than what it was supposed to be. Because there's a lot of people in long relationships that, that can make the numbers. Hey, black women, they said black women are married at 24% rate. But if you account all the long relationships, it could be in the 30s or 40s%. You know, you never know. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us are not, you know what I mean, don't know what's really going on in these relationships. Like, I know you and your family, you got like, I ain't gonna say that, but yeah, man. But
you know how you be saying too damn much.
Exactly.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be here again next week, Saturday at 9 p.m. We'll have a juicier story. We're gonna make sure the story gets to the point. And because you know, some people they drag these stories. Like, I get it. All right, what happened?
Yeah, man. I should have cut a lot of that out. But yeah.
All right, y'all. So thanks so much. We'll see you guys next time. And also thank you for the cash apps I have received last week and this week. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, all right, y'all.
All right, peace. All right, everybody.
I believe in the future. I believe
Music licensing reimagined.
I believe what you truly desire, you can bring to pass. All you need is a focus and a story to hold, and the faith that you can achieve what's inside your soul. Someday we'll make it on by. Other days we only can try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way,
Artlist.io.
we're gonna get. Someday we'll make it on by. Someday. Other days we only can try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get better. Know that you can make it. Hold it tight, cause they will try to take it.
Music licensing reimagined.
But whatever you do, don't let them break it. These moments just a new chance to take into your own hands and shape the life you see inside your dreams. Oh, someday we'll make it on by. Someday. Other days we only can try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get.
Artlist.io.
Someday we'll make it on by. In your heart there lives a dream for your soul to master.
Music licensing
From the moment that
reimagined.
you breathe, get to chasing after. Yeah. All that you want, all that you ever dreamed. You can make anything of this life. Someday we'll make it on by. Other days we only can Someday we only try. No matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get
Artlist.io.
someday. Other days we only can try. Other days, no matter what people say. No matter what they say, we gonna get. Someday we'll make it on by. Someday. Other days we only can try. Other days, no matter what people say.
Music licensing reimagined.
Someday.